Good afternoon, y'all. It is March the 19th, 2025. Welcome to Scouching Live. I am Will, the host of the show. Of course, you know my face. I'm joined by my part-time producer, AJ Jadero. AJ, how are you?
Yes. Part-time producer, not really a producer anymore, just part-time guest.
If you want any, AJ's pivoted to if you want Age of Empires strategy, chess.com strategy. This is where you go.
My pivot. I'm still better at EU4.
Okay, fine, but now he is running a consulting business for normies on the internet to get tips from him on how to make everyone sad and blow everyone out of the water.
What?
At Age of Empires. That's exactly what.
This is not how you sell a business, man. I'm gonna make you happy by crushing your opponent's souls. That's what I'm trying to do.
Or that works too. But anyway, welcome to the show. Big day here at Scouching Enterprises LLC, WorldCom Corporation. We have our first Scouching report out for subscribers to the website. If you haven't already, you can subscribe over at scouching.ca or go to the YouTube membership program. The video has been posted in our Discord server, so if you are a member over there, you can go check it out as well. I won't spoil who the first one is, but you know, it's not one of the big boys. I'll tell you that right now. It's we always start a little bit slower, a little bit quiet.
Probably. That's my guess.
No comment. But
no, I don't even know. I don't even know who it is. So yeah. I'm gonna take a wild swing.
Okay.
And say it'll be like an Albert Smith's.
No, but close. You're barking up the right tree, but we're saving those ones for a little later, I think. A little bit later on, once we get the ball rolling and get the format down.
Is it like a Suvanto then?
Potentially. We are changing. We changed it up a little bit as well this year. Every year we kind of tweak the format a little bit, but but we're shortening them this year. The first one is like 15 minutes. We're really trying to compact them down. Well, I am really trying to compact them down quite a bit. And make them a little more accessible for normies and for people who aren't as wonky as I am. But with the data and stuff is all still in there and everything, so it's a nice little balance, you know. But if you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know, and we'll tweak it. And that's kind of why we started a little bit slow.
You have to like it.
That's true, right? Sorry, yeah. You have to like it. You have to.
You have to like it, or I'll show up as in Age of Empires 2 at your doorstep and ruin your base very quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll show up outside of your house with men-at-arms and towers, and it's going down, baby.
Pre-mill.
No, you can't do pre-mill.
Yeah, well, anyway. First one's up. The second one is recorded. It's being edited. I'm looking at the next 4 guys, so after the show tonight, I will be recording at least one more, so that's going to be fun. So they're going to come fast and often. I'll be putting them public starting next week, but again, if you want the early access, you go to scouching.ca, get yourself a subscription. You'll get them as soon as you want, as well as plenty of other cool stuff. We're having a lot of fun office hours periods. It's a good time.
Buy us a billion coffees.
That's or that, yeah. You can buy, you can buy us a billion coffees. But anyway, big few days in the NHL, mostly surrounding the NHL debut of Cole Hutson. Definitely looking like the Cole Hutson I remember from college hockey this year. I don't know what it is, but in the last 2 months of me watching a lot of BU hockey and a lot of Cole Hutson at the World Juniors, that kid's good, and now seeing him in the NHL, like, I can see why Washington traded John Carlson when you've got, 23-year-old Cole Hutson on the way, or whatever age he is. He's 20, isn't he? He was a 2024 pick, I think. So he's going to be 20. So not bad. Not a bad job at all on the part of the Washington Capitals. And that's how you do it. Not a bad pickup for the second round, because he looks pretty darn good. But anyway,
until we make the obligatory video we make for all Hutson brothers now, it seems.
Right,
does it suck now?
As soon as he goes 5 games without a point, it does.
And is a minus. And is a -7.
Yeah, then, does Cole Hutson suck now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was
Capitals.
surprised that the title of the video wasn't, is Cole Hutson the GOAT now? Like, I
Right.
thought that might be what
Maybe.
we do, you know?
I'm not smart enough to think about those types of things.
See,
I'm not the content specialist. I'm the analyst. That's the, you never let the analysts do the clickbait because we're incapable. I don't know. I don't know what word I would use. I don't know what adjective
you're a
I would
square.
use. I'm
That's
too
what
much
you
of a
are.
square. Yeah, exactly. I'm too much of a square. Yes, Cole Hutson is 19 still. He hasn't even turned 20 yet. That's exactly right. So not so bad. I think the Washington Capitals are doing the right thing. They're going in the right direction because last night I watched a bit of that game and holy smokes, that kid can really rip. I guess the other thing too that dropped was the Hobie Baker list, which I always find hilarious. Is this woke DEI stuff where you have to have players from every conference in the thing? It's like, no, we can't nominate Michael Hage. We got to have Felix Trudeau out of Sacred Heart University on that list, and we're never going to pick him, right? It's going to be, a Trey Augustine or a Gavin McKenna or whatever, and that's fine. But you'd love to see, legitimately the best college hockey players on there, but unfortunately can't have that. What was that list anyway? I know people will ask about it. Hobie Baker nominees 2026. Sorry, what?
So yeah, good idea to pull it up then.
Yes, exactly. Good idea to pull it up now. That's not just like a list. Okay. Yeah, you got Trey Augustine, James Haggins, nice. TJ Hughes, a 24-year-old, nice. Gavin McKenna, Max Plant, Detroit Red Wing legend. Eric Polkamp, I believe Polkamp was on there last year too. Good player. Hayden Stavroff, Charlie Stramel's on there. Talk about a return to form. Charlie Stramel went from 18-year-old draft bust after one season of everybody giving up on him to Hobie Baker nominee in a couple of years. Felix Trudeau, as I mentioned, Sacred Heart University. You gotta have the guy who leads the NCAA in power play goals as the Hobie Baker nominee. Ethan Wittenbach, of course, is the last nominee, so all kinds of good candidates. I would probably put my money on Augustine or McKenna. I mean, having seen a lot of McKenna this year and having seen a lot of a guy like Haggins, I think I probably would put a vote on Haggins over McKenna, but in realistic terms, I feel like McKenna's going to win it because he is quite a hockey player. But anywho, interesting list of college hockey players. College hockey's never been better, and some really, really good players did not get a nomination, and that kind of sucks. But anywho,
so leave in the comments and comment now who should be there, so it drives up engagement.
Exactly. Please. Who should be on the Hobie Baker nominee list? Yes.
Spam it. Okay. We need you to drive up the engagements. So please voice your displeasure.
I saw lots of Flyers fans upset that Porter Martone wasn't on there. I also was doing some reading, and apparently the Hobie Baker is often an award that trends towards older players. They were like, how is Stramel on there and more Martone isn't? And it's like, I think it's that unless you are a truly, truly elite level player at 17, 18, 19 years old, you're not going to get on that list. Notable omission, Tynan Lawrence, he's awful, so he's not on that list. And
not old.
It's over. It's Jover. It's all Jover.
Also, he didn't even start the year there.
Yeah. I think any reasonable hockey person should realize that after 15 games, coming to a team mid-season and having 4 points, you're just the best player out there. You got to give a guy like that the MVP, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you just gotta. I mean, for the record, for anyone who doesn't know, I am joking. We like Tynan Lawrence very, very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
we do.
Yes,
Go watch his game tape after this.
Yes, we got a game tape of Tynan Lawrence out. Obviously, we'll do a scouting report, but we're going to save that one for a little later. But anyway, yeah, I whenever I'm going silent, by the way, AJ's can't see me on camera. I'm usually drinking my coffee. This is my afternoon. Okay. This is my afternoon pick me up to avoid the 3 p.m. crash live on the internet.
Why are you that tired?
Survivor took a lot out of me last night.
Yeah, it did.
There's a lot of emotional weight in that one, and it took me out.
So Yeah, do we want to? We can talk about it, or
Zach,
unless people don't want to hear
the
it.
Zach
Like,
Bryan, the Brown, Zach Brown, or Zach Bryan. There's two Zachs in country music, and I can
the
never tell
guy
which one.
who made chicken fried. All
Right,
right,
the guy who made chicken. Yeah,
that's all you need.
yeah.
All
He
you
just
need to
got
know.
me, man. I was crying and sobbing on the couch, and just like, oh, this is so beautiful. This is why I watch this show.
Yeah, I was like, move on. I don't care.
Yeah, that was quite long.
meant,
I saw
I meant,
someone comment on the Reddit live thing that they do that Zach Brown has had more confessionals in that episode than Tiffany has had until today.
That's true. That's true.
She's been on the show for like 5 episodes, and he had more screen time alone than she has had.
Yeah, dude, which is crazy.
Oh, it's so funny.
Generally, confessionals give you a sense of who is trending in a good direction. Like the fact that Christian gets one every week and a lot of Christian content makes me feel very good that he's going to win or be very important in this season.
He is definitely a good narrator. That's for sure.
I love him.
I could listen to that guy talk all day.
Yeah, because he's a nerd just like you.
It's almost like he's such a strange one. I mean, because he's again he did this before, but he's putting his trust in somebody who is very sloppy. And last time he did that, he got wrecked, and this time he is continuing to do so, even though, I mean, I guess that last night was strike 2 when she, in front of everybody, was like, oh, and basically like blew the whole plan open. But anyway, I mean, this season's great, man.
Is there anybody in the chat saying spoilers, please no spoilers, or
no,
is it
like nothing?
Everybody, okay,
no, nothing. Oh, someone asked if Ozzy is washed on Survivor. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think up until the tribal council last night. And spoiler alert, if you want to earmuffs, now's the time. But I think that you saw the old Ozzy come out right at the end of the episode there, where you're like, all right, buddy. Like, number one, when they voted Mike out, it's like, he said he's like, I want to be closer to Mike, so I have to get rid of Angelina. So I want to get rid of Angelina. But he said that to Mike. So he's basically saying,
did he?
They were sitting in a group of 3, and Mike was standing there, and he's like, I want to get rid of Angelina.
He said that, but he didn't say that he wanted to get closer to Mike.
But privately he was saying that.
Yeah, in his confessional.
But so he basically was looking at a person who is very close to the person he wants to get out, and is like, I want to get your ally out. And he's like, I don't know about that. And it's like this next level plan to become closer to this person. So he's like, so if he comes back and like he's basically like, I want to replace your ally with myself. And so I feel like anybody would be like, why would I work with you then? Like you're clear, like it was very strange. And I think that he was very offended at the end at like them getting rid of Mike. And it's like, well, you did say like to his face that you wanted to get rid of his ally, and like he wasn't probably going to work with you anyway if you did succeed in that. Like if you were successful in doing that, he wouldn't want to work with you. Like that doesn't make any sense. And then he got all offended and pissed off and everything, and it's like, all right, man, you got to kind of get over it. Like it's, but I feel like that's what happened in his previous seasons. But we'll see. Maybe he can recover. He's older, wiser. He's got the Shambo haircut. He looks ridiculous.
Oh, it's awful.
It might be the ugliest haircut I've ever seen in my life. At least on camera on a television show.
He's not a bad-looking guy either. Like, no, why relegate yourself to something that's that horrible?
I know. I honestly, if I was on the island with him while he's sleeping, I'd just get the machete and just start hacking away in the middle of the night.
Yeah, you wouldn't be his ally then either.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into this little chat here. Let's see what we got here. Oh boy. All right, we're getting off to a ripping hot start here with some Pacific Northwest talk. I feel like I'm the only one of the Canucks people who doesn't want a couple of mid twins with the 2 of the Canucks picks between 25 and 33. This person, I am almost certain, is talking about the Rucks. But
you could have the Sedins again.
Not the Östberg twins playing in Sweden, or the Griva twins playing in Germany. You're not interested in those guys? All right.
Don't you want another set of amazing twins on your team? Even though that's basically unheard of and a fluke. Not a fluke, but just like a total one-off thing or like very hard to replicate, don't
Right.
you think you should just take the chance on it again? Maybe
Right.
trade the first overall pick again
I
to,
uh
to, to do that.
I get the feeling like you're talking about the rucks, and I would not touch the rucks in that range at all. I think you have to be extremely careful with the Medicine Hat Tigers this year. I also think you have to be very, very careful because, in my opinion, it is very interesting that a lot of people are talking a lot more about the Ruck twins since Andrew Basha went back to that team and started playing center up the middle of those two. Like, I wonder if there's a common denominator where you take a kid who is a fourth line AHL guy, but a pretty decent one at that, and stick him back in junior hockey on a team that is the most skilled in the league by a wide margin. And all of a sudden, everybody starts to take notice of the guys that guy plays with. But nevertheless, to be very serious and clear about this, like, I like Liam Ruck. I think Liam Ruck is a guy that you could certainly pick. He's, a solid top 100 guy to me this year. I think he's very smart. I think he's got a very, very good ability to finish. He's a very good shooter. I think if he can learn to, like, I think he has a bit of a binary outcome. I think he is a guy who doesn't really have the strength on his feet to project as he is right now, or the speed and agility to project as he is right now. He's very pass reliant and off puck reliant and just very cerebral. And it's very successful right now, but the NHL is he's either gonna need to really speed up his speed of the game or the speed of his feet and the strength there to project as like a more skilled offensive player, or he's gonna need to become very, very, very strong on his feet to be sort of that pass first, pressure absorbing, smart puck placement playmaker type who can find offensive zone space and shoot the puck and score. I don't think Marcus is a guy that I would draft. I've felt that way all year. It's not that, and I don't know. I haven't seen as much of Marcus as I have of Liam, at least not in detail or paying as much attention on the ice. But I'm always more drawn to Liam. I think Liam is a guy that elevates Marcus rather than the other way around, but they play off of each other very, very well. But I mean, look, like, you have to always think, like, are you drafting a story or are you drafting hockey players, right? Like, that's I think that if you start to go down the road of attaching yourself to a story rather than hockey players, you're a bit in trouble. And if Liam Ruck and Marcus Ruck were, picks in the mid, late second, early third round, and you wanted the storyline then, and they're the second or third and fourth players that you're drafting, fine, I whatever, right? But I think in this year's class, there's a lot more projectable players who, at the end of the day, might end up filling a similar role as these guys, but I think it's more believable and they're further along than these two. But again, like, it's when I'm talking about guys like this, it's not that I don't really like them as players, but it's a matter of, like, projecting them. And if you're talking about a first round pick, I just don't really see it. And I'm looking at their data profile right now, or at least Liam's, right? And I'm going to pull it up on the screen here. But, like, you can see that almost all of his data that's very good is shooting related. Like, very, very good shooting metrics, and the playmaking is okay. He drives a lot of offense, but he's another one of these guys where, the defensive zone game is a bit questionable here and there, at least in terms of how he projects. He's not a very physical player. The defensive transition game, I think, because of his feet, is pretty weak. But once the puck's in the offensive zone, he can really make a lot of stuff happen, which is great. But I have a hard time trusting a lot of those guys because you got to get the puck into the offensive zone. Can you project in that way to figure out a way to, get to the, like, can you figure out how to get the puck into that offensive zone, or are you drafting this guy to be that more passive offensive zone presence? And if that's the case, I don't know how valuable that is. I don't know what type of player that is in the NHL who plays like that, and is like worth drafting in the first round. Like, are you getting to me, when I watch a Liam Ruck, I see like a Tyler Toffoli type, where it's like, I don't know if he's going to be...
That's a good player.
He is, but, like, you can see why he was a second round pick, Like if Tyler Toffoli was like a 10th overall pick, you'd be like, I don't know. Like he's a very limited use case, and I think that's why he bounces around so much in the league, right? Like it's that he can put points on the board, but you got to put him with the right mix of guys, and I feel like it's similar. And the Medicine Hat Tigers are a bit of an enigma that you have to be really careful about. But yeah, late first, I think there's a lot more guys I'd look at than the Ruck twins. But never know.
But you're drafting the Sedins again, Will. Come on.
True. Yeah, you're drafting the Sedins again. Yeah. True. How could I forget? My NHLE model says they're the Sedins. Yeah, so I guess never mind.
It should
forget it. Pretty maddening.
If it doesn't, then you're dumb.
Pretty maddening day. I don't know why it would be maddening today. Please explain.
Probably Hobie Baker got snub. That's probably what it is.
Maybe. Fortnite update thoughts. I have not played the new update. I've been too busy doing my job. But I'm gonna be trying it out tonight. I saw the trailer for the new season, and the fact that The Rock is in it is really annoying. Because
The Rock ruins everything.
I'm very over The Rock. Very over it. He's very 2016 coded, very so last decade coded in my opinion. So same thing with like Jack Black. I'm over him. I'm ready to move on from Jack Black.
I'm over
I get
it.
The Minecraft movie I think was a great last hurrah of Jack Black in terms of his in-person acting. He can voice Bowser in this Mario movies, whatever. I don't care. It's fine. Even if I don't, it's fine. But the Minecraft
you go
movie,
somewhere I don't care to watch. Is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like the Mario movies. They're pretty good. But I mean, like the Jack Black in-person on-camera shtick that is not a voice acting job. The Minecraft movie was a nice little exclamation point.
The awkward bigger dude that's kind of funny and lovable. Like that's
I think it's more obnoxiously lovable in a way. I find him very obnoxious now, but maybe I'm just old.
I think you're right.
I don't know if the Gen Zers and the Gen Alphas are all about the Jack Black, and he's becoming sort of their Mr. Rogers type, where he's the older guy who is endearing to young people. I don't know.
I just like him because I liked School of Rock as a kid.
Oh,
and
of course.
I got to see that movie again for got paid to watch it. Thank you, work. Very cool. I enjoyed that movie, which is funny because Mike White's in that movie.
That was yes, he is. He is. That's the classic. That back in my day, that was the classic movie that was always on TV at some point. If you were just flipping channels on the television on your cable box, you could almost always find School of Rock, and you almost always watched it. It was a classic.
It's a good movie.
He's had some good movies, man. Jack Black has had some good ones, but he's kind of turned himself into a character of himself, and I'm not about that as much. Like he's kind of becoming not Ned Schneebly. He's kind of becoming his School of Rock character.
Dewey?
But literally he's Dewey every single day of his life, every time he's on camera, and it's like, all right, man, like.
Yeah,
you were in The Holiday, bro. You're better than this. You were in The Holiday. That movie rocks.
Even in like 2009, he was on Community playing basically Dewey.
Yeah. So whatever. I mean, but the Fortnite update, I don't know. I will say the last season got very stale, very boring, I guess you could say. But I don't know. There's a lot of criticism being levied at Epic Games, and I think it's for good reason. But I'll still keep playing. I just won't pay any money. There you go.
He says.
Yeah, exactly. A March Madness.
That's what Will actually spends all your money on. Epic Games stuff.
V-Bucks. It's just
Will's just good enough to invest and get away with it. So he he just ends up using all the money for this to support his Fortnite addiction.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Someone asked about a March Madness bracket. I don't know anything about basketball, but I guess that's the point. But I
always pick Duke.
I think it's Long Island University's time. I think it's their time to do it. I don't know if we have the time to go through a bracket, but I'll leave it open until the end of the show, and we'll see if we have time. Because that would be kind of fun. As a Canucks fan, I dream of Stenberg Bjork first round. That would be a dream. That would be excellent.
But you're gonna get the Ruck twins,
or you're gonna get the Sedin twins. Yeah. Apparently, you're like my little brother that gets given an unplugged controller while I play a single player game. A little bit, especially nowadays. Especially because you've given up on your hometown hockey team.
Who, me?
Yeah, you're the little brother that I give the unplugged controller to.
What do you? The controller's plugged in. What are you talking about?
It's apparently this person says you're not contributing, but you're having fun anyway.
Oh, yeah. That's fair.
It. Yeah,
that I agree with.
Yeah. Hutson or Levshinov? Hutson. I mean, I know your username is LevShoot now, and your avatar is Artyom Levshinov, but Hutson for me.
Lev, shoot yourself in the foot because Cole Hutson's better.
If Bjork were 2 inches taller, he'd be first overall. Probably right.
Possible.
The Canucks pick most likely 3. I wouldn't be upset with him there. Yep, you're right. He's at 3 on my list, and if
will he be?
If you say it, I agree. If you say it and I agree with it, then you're right. So you were good. Every viewing of Malhotra. Oh, Michael Hage. Yeah, pretty much exactly. Every viewing of Malhotra, all I see is him floating around the ice until someone passes him the puck. He's behind Bjork and Lawrence for me. I agree. Let me see here. Malhotra. All right. So here's Caleb Malhotra's data set too. I do want to do a little bit more screen sharing because I get tired of looking at my own face. But in general, I mean, you can kind of see for yourself that Malhotra's data profile, again, this is all at 5-on-5. From my experience of watching him, I don't see exactly what it is that everybody is losing their mind about. His ability to, I mean, I know he's scoring a lot of points, but at 5-on-5, his offensive generation numbers are pretty.
You just said it. You just said it. He's
what?
Scoring a lot of points.
Yes, that's true.
That's all you need.
Yes. A very active transition guy, a pretty decent transition carrier, like puck carrier especially. He's quite good at it. His defensive numbers are good, like a good defensive involvement guy, moderately physical. Everything is just kind of fine with him. Nothing wrong. But in terms of like a top end player compared, with what I remember of Tyne and Lawrence, I'd rather have him and Bjork especially. I would definitely lean Bjork. I will say I also need to update his ratings. I'd say I'd put Malhotra a little higher than this. But in my book, he's underwater on shot attempts, and again, I focus on tracking teams against good teams, especially in the CHL. He's like under 30% in shot attempt creation. I mean, Liam Ruck was almost at 40. Was above 45, right? So you're looking at a very different profile here. But in terms of like offensive transition game, and I think being a guy who can move the puck, I think in good ways that I think NHL teams will really value. I think he brings value there, and I think he has gotten a little bit better over the course of the year in terms of offensive creation and being a little bit more creative and skilled. But I agree. I think his defensive game is a little bit overrated, especially with regards to the transition game. He's not the quickest guy in the world, but if you give him time and space to wheel up, he can really get moving. And he does the whole, I'm going to look this way, and then I'm going to pull the puck back and then pass it a different direction type thing, which NHL teams love, I guess. And it's a projectable trait that guys are naturally wired to do that, but the overall package with him is a little bit questionable, at least to me still. Any thoughts on Vinny Borghese? Actually, yes, and this is going to sound extremely biased because the Leafs signed him. And it's unfortunate that he's 5'8" because that automatically means he's bad, especially as a defenseman. But of all of the NCAA agents, I actually spent a night a couple days ago looking at quickly looking at a bunch of the NCAA guys that have made the jump. And I still like the Bennett Shimmick signing for Abbotsford, but I don't know. I didn't see a whole lot there with Gross, the guy that Calgary signed. I mean, he's big and powerful on his feet, and I can see why an NHL team would sign him. But of all of them, the guy that I was most interested in was Borghese, which I did not expect. I remember Vinny Borghese from his USHL days, but he really seems to have found another level of skill than what I remember. I don't know if he's an NHL player. I think that he is his metrics and his analytics were not very good in his own end, but he was playing like 20 plus minutes at even strength every game. And that's not an easy job. And so I think that with him, like you're betting on the skill level. He's kind of in a way like a very, very discount Lane Hutson in a way. Like he's very skilled, very shifty, very creative, and quick on his feet, but not explosive enough, not strong enough, not there's just not as much creativity in his game. It's very just sort of fundamentals and like a talent floor that's good. And so I would expect him to be a Marley and stay there. But I also was watching him and thinking, boy, I feel like this guy looks more ready for an NHL job than like a Philippe Myers, like I
knew you were gonna say that.
Well, or like the Toronto Maple Leafs defense group. It's like all of them probably wish they had footwork like Borghese has, right? And it's unfortunate that he's 5'8" though, because who knows if he'll ever get a look. He'll never play, but if he, who knows? I mean, it's an interesting thing because Toronto tends to draft, the bigger guys these days, and they tend to focus on that sort of heavier playing style. But I guess there are some holdovers from the Dubas era that are still hanging around there going, what about this 5'8" captain defenseman from the NCAA that can really skate and has a lot of skill and might be a nice add to the minor league? Maybe, but we'll see.
Please make him the GM. Please. Why is he not the GM?
Because his dad didn't start Boston Pizza, man. When he's a good you got to put a good businessman in charge of pretty much anything, and
and they gotta be under the tutelage of Brian Burke. That's just a recipe for terrible pizza and a terrible hockey team.
Brian Burke has more Stanley Cup rings than you or I combined. So what do we know?
Care.
Same thing with Brian Burke and Craig Berube have Stanley Cup rings plug in our ears.
No, they don't have two, so they can't do that.
No, but each one of them combines. Oh, I guess what you're saying is both of our ears. But
no, what I'm saying is they can't do it. They can't plug their ears with their rings.
No, plug ours. They can plug our ears and tell us to shut up. One in each ear.
They can try.
They can try. Cole Hutson is impressing more with the Caps than in BU somehow. Well, no, think about it. Think about why I have Tynan Lawrence ranked so high. Think about why I'm so hyped. I was so hyped about Cole Hutson coming to Washington. It's because Boston University wasn't very good this year. Like, they were not a very good hockey team. And at least not up to the standard of a Boston University hockey team. But the bright spot was Cole Hutson. And to me, when I watch that team, a bright spot has been Tynan Lawrence since he showed up. They bring a lot of good at hockey energy to a team that a lot of guys I don't think are huge difference makers at the college level, or in the case of a Cole Eiserman, very dependent on others or surroundings to do what they do. And so, I'm not surprised that people watching Cole Hutson in the NHL go, wow, this guy looks a lot better than he was in college. It's like, well, yeah, like, I mean, I thought he looked great with BU, but like, the thing is, the hockey is a team sport. And so if you're a good player and you're put in better surroundings than you were before, you're going to look good. But if you're a good player and you're put in terrible surroundings, it's very easy to not look very good because there's four other guys on the ice with you. And if, one,
they suck, you suck.
One bad defensive partner can completely revamp the entire way you play as a defenseman, right? Like it's very, 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 very team dependent. And based on what I've seen of BU this year, it does not surprise me that he looks better in the NHL. Unfortunately, Tynan Lawrence didn't start the year in Boston University because he was just getting comfortable when the season ended. Cost himself about 3 to 5 draft spots. See, but in reality, I think you're right. But in my opinion, it shouldn't. In my opinion, it shouldn't, because he is what he is. He is the hockey player that he is, regardless of where he's playing, how, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I look at it and go, right, but, I think the thing to take away from that, though, is that he'll be at the under-18s for Canada. If he isn't, I'd be stunned. But he should be. And if I would expect him going from, the USHL, which has been a good league this year, to the NCAA, which is not easy, and being a top 6 center for an NCAA team coming in halfway through the year, being born in August 2008. That's not easy. That's a tall order, if you ask me. And I imagine him going back to play under 18 hockey, playing like Norway. You'll see Tynan Lawrence and what he's capable of, and I think people will look at holy smokes, he had 6 points, and maybe think he's good again. Because
I didn't know Barney Gumble was watching BU.
Hey man, some hockey fans may be exactly like Barney Gumble. I've been to hockey games. What?
Yeah, you've been to hockey games.
I've been to hockey games. I've seen my fair share of Barney Gumbles.
Yeah,
for sure.
People who are drunk yelling at William Nylander to play better when he's amazing.
Or shoot! Hey, shoot the puck! Yeah, exactly.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Someone asked about the women's hockey Frozen Four. I mean, my answer is always going to be Caroline Harvey. I believe she's on Wisconsin, right?
Will loves Caroline Harvey.
Yes. Who doesn't? If you don't, you are wrong. She is, or is she on Minnesota? They both wear dark red. Yeah, she's on Wisconsin. That makes sense, because how can a team not go to the NCAA championships if you got Caroline Harvey on the back end? Yeah, she rules, and I hope she goes pro. This is her 4th year of college hockey. I imagine she can stay longer if she wants to, but the PWHL would be all the more better than for her. If you haven't watched Caroline Harvey play hockey, you should go do it. Is Brandon Buer?
Go do it. Tell Will he's right. That's all he wants to hear.
That's all I want to hear. Is Brandon Buer the next Eric Lindros? Yes, he is. Yes.
Because you said so, yes.
Yes. Apparently, our Finnish friend in the Discord server wants me to tell you that I love you. I don't know if that's me or him.
Why? Because the Leafs suck and freaking and Austin Matthews is getting surgery.
Probably. Yeah, that's true. Apparently, Austin Matthews is getting surgery. I mean, for a grade 3 NCL tear, I kind of would have been surprised if he didn't, because a grade 3 tear is like almost a complete tear, if not a complete tear. And you can fix it with rehab, but that, I probably...
Hopefully he fixes his wrist now, too.
And his shoulder.
Yeah, everything.
Oh, boy.
Old man Austin has all these injury problems, is going bald. Poor guy.
Yep.
But he's got a gold medal.
It's true. Gun to the earth, do you take Cole Hutson or Sam Dickinson on your team? Dude, I know this is recency bias, but it might be Cole Hutson. I simply cannot believe how good I thought he looked this season with BU. Sam Dickinson obviously is in a tougher spot. He's, he can't go to the CHL again, and he would have absolutely dominated the CHL if he went there. And he can't be in the AHL, so that's tricky. And so obviously I don't think he's NHL ready, but he also is too good for the CHL. Like, he's in that Kevin Korchinski death zone where it's like, he's not an NHL defenseman, but you can't put him back in the CHL because he's going to score 150 points, and everyone's going to he's almost going to be so good at that level he'll have bad habits and not work on the things that he needs to work on. So we've talked about San Jose on this show before, and I think their strategy, again, I don't mind that strategy personally. I think that's where development, like, so many people ask about development. I think that the way you manage a case like that is a pristine example of development. It's like, you're going to say to Sam Dickinson, and they're doing this with Michael Misa, right? They're going to say, we don't expect to be one of the best teams in the league. We would love to take a step with the guys that we've added over the last little while. Obviously, that would be great. But you guys are the new guys, and we don't want to send you back to junior. We want you here, working out with the team, building relationships with the staff and the players and all that stuff. And if you don't score a goal for 15 straight games, and if we scratch you, it's not because we don't think you're any good. It's just a matter of like the long-term development curve here.
No, it's because we think you're terrible.
Or that. Yeah. San Jose thinks their recent second overall pick is terrible, and that's why they don't play him every game. So in that case, it's like you kind of go, it's tough love in a way where it's like, we just don't want you going back to play in London and play against a bunch of teenagers and run their show every single night, because you're just delaying the inevitable. And so let's just get the hard part sort of out of the way now, and focus on next season and developing you and working on the stuff that you need to work on. Like, welcome to the NHL. This is what it looks like. How do we go forward? Cole Hutson, though, like, I've been blown away with his play since watching him in his draft year. Like, he has grown. He grew a ton that year too, I think, in terms of his style of play, and I definitely underrated it going in. But the thing that I was really surprised with was how well he's using his skating to play defensively as well. That has really taken a big jump, and I think that was kind of a must for him. But in terms of the sort of attacking offensive style of play that he has, he's added more diversity to it over the last couple of years. I wasn't the hugest fan of Sam Dickinson in his draft year either. I had him lower than most people, but I also had Cole Hutson like in my second round. So, you know, obviously I'm regretting that a little bit because I like Cole Hutson so much now. But it's also really tough because Sam Dickinson hasn't had that luxury of being at a lower level of hockey and couldn't have that option. And although Cole Hutson last night for Washington, from what I saw, looks pretty comfortable. He seems okay in the NHL already after one game. I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's really, really great. Where are we here? Tulski doing more to defend Austin Matthews than his own damn front office. I mean, yeah. Sorry.
His own front office. This front office doesn't know what defense is. They think it's boulders on skates.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know. I do think that the reports coming out of Toronto are that the front office was more concerned with their own team. You know, I think that any NHL person, like anyone worth their weight, should know that this is just how player safety is working. Right? Like, there's absolutely no indication that the NHL is questioning George Parros' department ever at all. And now when it's being brought up at the GM meetings, it's being met with like back talk from the NHL league office. Like, they're basically like, shut up and sit down. So it's like, what is Brad Treliving going to say or do? Right? I think the better thing to spend your energy on, although I think you can walk and chew gum at the same time, is going to your dressing room and being like, what in the goddamn hell is wrong with all of you people? Like, you know, like, I think that's the probably more prudent strategy in terms of managing that situation, rather than complaining about it and having it but it's not going to go anywhere. Like, there's no, what's Gary Bettman going to do? Be like, oh, okay, you're right.
No, it's like, I don't think like everybody criticizes the Leafs for having no backbone, no matter what iteration of this team is. It's like,
sure,
okay, well, why is that a problem? It's a problem, I think, because this team plays, when they were under Dubas and Keefe, they played a style that was, you gotta kind of play perfect, right? And
yep,
it was a little bit slower than what I think it should have been. And they tried to play calm, relaxed hockey to an extent and like play perfectly. Now it's, oh, let's go out there and ruin everybody physically. But like, when you get beat around so much that you have nothing left because almost nothing positively goes your way, that's going to affect your just how you feel. And so how you react in a moment like that when you get battered all the time, it's like, it's not unnatural for them to not react. I think
if something like that happens and you don't get a reaction out of your team, then you're cooked. Like, it's done. Like, you may as well just not play for the rest of the year. I can't imagine being on that team and seeing that event happen on the bench and going, I am going to get myself suspended. Like, the only explanation to me is that they hate their jobs, or they hate Austin Matthews, or both. Like,
they hate their coach.
But that has nothing to do with the coach, though.
No, but right? Like, this team is so incompetent right now, and nothing is going their way. It feels like you just give up at some point. you just give up. Like, they don't play a style where I think they're like, think about the Florida Panthers, what they do, right? This team goes after you in terms of like playing an aggressive forecheck. They hound you and they like create a lot of offense and cause chaos, right? Because they're kind of chaos merchants, they thrive on that, right? So a scuffle is something that they're up for because that's kind of the style of play they go for.
Right.
They're already ramped up. The Leafs play slow and boring and with very like there's not much energy there. Sure, a big event should spark something like that out of you, but like look at how terrible the season is. Look at everything around them. It was also a home game, and that building is always freaking quiet. Like there's what is there to ramp up to, even in a situation like that for this team? Like this is just like an environment that is going to doom you to fail unless you actively make a culture shift and like an on ice play shift where you're playing intense, aggressive, forecheck. Maybe you finish your checks here and there as well. I feel like it's just who they are right now. They're gonna fold like that, and even who they were before under, in my opinion, a way more competent general manager and head coach. That style didn't fully work. So I think they just have to have a bit of a shift in terms of the way they play, and it's not about getting heavier and finding goons to. Oh, we need to add this guy because he's big and he'll go after them. It's not. That doesn't change anything. And it's been proven because what's happened when Ryan Reeves was there? Oh, he's going to go after somebody, and he never did.
He went after. He went after the food in the press box when he was scratched.
Exactly.
Like he was
it's not about who you bring in necessarily. Like, there are some guys who will do that. Like, you bring in a Brad Marchand, sure, but that's not going to happen.
Well, it's a different kind of who you bring in. It's like you're not understanding who you need. You're not getting it. It's not about finding the biggest guy in the bar. You want to find. It's tougher to do because you can't just look at their biographical information and be like, well, this guy's big and has the most fights in the league and he's heavy and whatever, therefore he's going to change our culture. It's like, no, that's not really it.
There's all this talk of, culture change, but like, what does that mean? I think a lot of it has to do with how you play on the ice too.
Well, nobody wants to stick their neck out and say, here's what I would do. It's always just like complaining about the state of things. We're very off topic from the original question.
No, but am I? But I feel like that. No, you're right. Like, you're right. Way to look at it.
You're right, and it's a fundamental problem. It's a pretty core issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know, but I still, it's
you can.
It's still pretty pathetic to watch the team do that.
It is pathetic, but you also have to like not have pathetic people running this organization.
Yeah, well,
sorry, like
tale as old as time here.
But it's not always been that way. Like, would you say that Kyle Dubas and Sheldon Keefe were pathetic? Maybe if you look at Keefe's history without Dubas now, it's possible to say that, but I wouldn't go that far.
No, I don't think so.
But the two guys in charge now are morons.
It's not great. It's not great.
They're not Brendan Pridham. I like Brendan Pridham. Okay, I will state on the record, Brendan Pridham, cool guy. But like, I'm not like, this is why you hear me have my little rants all the time about this team. It's like, you can say all you want about keeping the flies off the honey and changing the DNA, but when you make it worse by adding a bunch of plumbers like Philip Myers to this team, like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Yeah, this guy's so much better than playing Timothy Liljegren last year. And sure, maybe
yes, facts.
Maybe like Yeah, he hasn't had the best time.
Who's played more games? Who's played more games this year?
I don't care.
Checkmate.
Do you care? It's not about that. It's about finding guys who are good. And Timothy Liljegren was good at what he did on this team until there was a total refusal to play him.
Once they get rid of Nick Robertson and Matthias Michelli, trade Matthew Nyes.
If that report's true about Matthias Michelli, like how can you take this organization seriously?
You don't. You just don't.
Like
you can't.
What's going on where we don't have a sports science department or like some key people are out of a position like that they haven't filled? Like what are you doing?
No nerds
you wonder
allowed.
why you have so many injuries when you have this old roster too. Like what? It's just so mind blowing, you know.
Yep. Oh,
so
I know.
That's why I got a dog, and I'm not so upset anymore.
But I mean, yeah,
she's here with me today. She's having a nap.
Yeah, like
even through my anguish.
Yeah, I mean, I did also find it very funny that Tulski basically got slapped down by Bettman. I mean, it wasn't very funny, but it was funny in like a kind of funny way. Basically, Gary Bettman basically calling him a mouthpiece for his owner, which what general manager isn't that? It's like a I don't know, I know you are, but what am I? It's like an I know you are, but what am I? But like done by a 70-year-old man who's worth gajillions of dollars and trying to be an adult in the room. Very funny.
Yeah.
You know, rather than like the diplomatic answer,
I don't hate Gary Bettman.
I just don't understand. I don't understand why it's very Donald Trumpian. It's like you're met with criticism and you go quiet piggy, you know? It's like someone asks you a legitimate question about something that you said, that you literally said, and you're like, shut up. You know, it's like, well, you could just lie or something. You could just make something up and be like diplomatic about it, or you could just, you know, whatever. But I guess maybe that's just the world we live in, where that's like a normal thing people do.
What's the most effective strategy? Just calling somebody ugly and fat.
Might
and
makes right.
It.
And bully people until they shut up, I guess makes sense. I should probably start doing more of that. I should probably start doing more of that. If people start questioning my methods or my takes or anything, I'll just go ban.
Like, shut up, point watcher.
Shut up, loser, and then ban them forever. And then I have nobody watching me ever again.
Fake news. Banned.
It's fake news. Banned. Call it a day because I'm a 6-year-old boy.
Anytime you get a question you don't like, you're like, you're such a biased individual. Like you just gotta.
or it just comes from a username I don't like, even if it's a good question. Not sending their best. These usernames, they're not sending their best.
Yeah, YouTube comment section, YouTube's not sending us the best viewers.
Yeah.
That's not true. We think you are the best viewers because you're watching us.
I mean, God bless you.
And I'm biased.
Yeah, God bless you. All right. What's your favorite aspect in Bjork's game? I mean, just how smart he is. He's unbelievably smart. One of the again, like a guy like Macklin Celebrini do what he does and how good he's gotten with regards to how much better of a skater he is than he was when he was 17. How much more, I would argue, like high-end creativity is there than what I remember from when he was 17. And he's become one of the best in the world. I think Bjork is a guy who could be on a similar trajectory where the way he sees the game, the way he picks apart opponents, the way he forechecks, his ability to get to the net and fight for space like he's bigger than he is in the SHL. I think I've come so far on him since last April or something when I really started digging into this draft class. He has come so far, and even in the SHL this year, he's grown a ton. His physical game is stronger. But my favorite thing is just how smart he is. His off puck timing, his sense of his awareness of the ice, his awareness of forechecks, where the puck is going, where his teammates are. He just has so much going for him that I love so much. Like the other day, we watched a few of these guys right up at the top end of the list, back to back in the Discord server, and I put Bjork in my top tier with Stenberg and McKenna. I think he's a fantastic hockey player, and I think it's a pretty clear I wouldn't draft him over those two, I don't think, but it's definitely a guy that I would take ahead of the guys I have after him. Lawrence, Smith, Gustafson, Reed. Like, Bjork is just so good and plays such an important role that, top 6 center in some way, I think is very easily achievable. Well, not very easily achievable, but very achievable if he comes along well, because just the way that he plays and how efficient he is and how far he's come in terms of his awareness and the smarts on the ice, like, he could be really, really fantastic. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I was talking to a couple of people yesterday. I was texting my limited Rolodex in the NHL, being like, because a lot of people seem to be ranking guys like Chase Reed at 1 now. There's like defensemen that are jumping up and all this other stuff. And I was like, can you give me any information on like what might be going on at all if it isn't a Stenberg or McKenna at 1? And this person said that likely the person who gave me the most information was like, it might be someone up the middle of the ice. Like, it might be a center, probably not a defenseman this year. The talk just doesn't, and someone else said this to me as well, like the talk around the defenseman, it doesn't seem to be at the point where they're going to take those guys over a Reed or over a Stenberg or a McKenna, but a center maybe. And the only guy that I would consider there is Bjork. But if there is going to be a center that jumps up a ton towards the end of the year because he's a center, there aren't that many to pick from, and by process of likely elimination, you're probably looking at Caleb Malhotra. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go first overall, but, never underestimate a team's willingness to sacrifice position in the draft and go for something they think they need, which always is centers and defensemen. And if the sentiment,
not wingers suck.
Yeah, if the sentiment is that defensemen might not be the ones that teams want to jump ahead of guys like Stenberg and McKenna for, and it's a center, it probably won't be Bjork. Because another person I also messaged the other day said like the talk of Bjork being maybe towards the middle of the first round, top 10, late top 10, early teens is a lot more likely than him being one of the first names off the board, which I think is ridiculous, but I don't know. Stranger things have happened, I suppose. Biggest risers in...
Here's something I just thought of.
Yes.
Do you think William Nylander got drafted as high as he did because they thought he was a center?
No. If anything, he was kind of right around where they thought he would go, I think.
Okay,
I don't think it was that. No. No. But he went a little later than he probably should have because he's European and they thought he was selfish. There's that too.
He's born in Calgary.
He dared to say,
and he hadn't renounced his citizenship yet.
True. He dared to say on camera, "I like to have the puck and I like when people give me the puck." And that was enough for NHL teams to go, "Oh,
he's selfish.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Not a team player.
Uh-oh. Give me Nick Ritchie. That's a team player." Anyway, biggest risers and fallers since August. There's a lot of them. I mean, the draft. This is why I also don't really tether myself to draft rankings in the summer. I kind of just go in like relaxed and try to just take everything at face value. But with regards to like guys that have kind of really come out of nowhere for me, Malte Gustafsson I think has grown a ton this year. Caleb Malhotra I think has come a long way since what I remember last year. I didn't expect to like guys like Casey Mutrin and Wyatt Cullen as much as I did, but I did like Cullen last year. I thought he was a good player for the NTDP, but I did not see a first-round pick really there, at least not in the top 20. Who else? William Hokanson, I think, has grown a lot in his game over the last 12 months. At the top end, I think those are the guys that stick out the most to me. Bjork as well, Viggo Bjork. I thought Bjork might be a mid-first round to me guy that you bet on skill and cross your fingers and hope things develop, but those things developed very, 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 very quickly, and he has very quickly become much less of a concern in my book. So there's those. In terms of fallers, I didn't really like Ryan Rubrek all that much last year anyway, and so I pulled him off my list. I'm in my brutalizing stage where I just go, is there any realistic point in the draft where you're going to be one of the best names on my list? And with him, I think the answer to that is no. So I pulled him off the list. There's a couple of other guys where I did that. So when you see my ranking at the end of the month or early in April, if there are guys that are not on that list, it's because it's like I don't really know what to do with them at all, because I don't know when I would draft them, because I just don't really like how they play. And I can see how other people would see it differently, I suppose. But for my books, in my mind, I don't like ranking guys where I can't sell you on why you should draft this player, right? So I don't rank them. I don't rank guys just because everybody else has them. You know what I mean? And maybe that burns me over time.
Because Will's different.
Because I think different. Like I'm Nike, whatever it is. No, Apple's the think different, I think.
Will's a neurologically diverse individual, which is actually true.
It is true. Yeah, you can ask my therapist about that.
You're welcome for helping
exactly.
you discover that.
Exactly.
By the way,
yeah, exactly.
I did. I actually did.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, guys that I actually have ranked though that have kind of slipped from where I had them at the beginning of the year or late last year, like the Nemec and Hrenko type guys, I think have dropped a little bit more than I expected. Who else? Yeah, I mean, a couple of guys that are re-entries, I was hoping for a little bit more growth in their game, or at least like maturity, and I just haven't really seen that at all. Like Topias Huninen comes to mind. I think he's just really taken a step back this year from what he was last year, which sucks. Oscar Holmertz is another one that I loved last year, and I think he is taken absolutely no positive steps this year at all. Relative to what I was looking at last year, I was very excited to see him this year, and I just kind of haven't really been too blown away. Maybe Brady Wasslin's another one. I still like him. He's on my watch list. I don't mind him, but I also have a few doubts about his projection. I mean, he's very skilled, very fun to watch, but I just haven't seen like a level of diversity in his game that makes me think he's a good NHL pick right now, at least. But I could sell you on drafting him. But yeah. Rank the NCAA hockey conferences? Okay. Well, Big Ten's probably at number one. You could probably find 10 guys in the Big Ten to put on the Hobie Baker list. Oh no, that's NHL. NCAA. I think you got to put Atlantic hockey at the bottom. There's just not really a whole lot going on there. I'd say after that, maybe the CCHA, then the ECAC. I'd say the CCHA and ECAC are pretty similar. Then maybe the NCHC, maybe Hockey East. I think maybe Hockey East first, then the NCHC, at least as they are right now. And then the Big Ten at the top. I think the Big Ten is pretty obviously the best. Although, like, I think the NCHC is not that far behind them. Like, I really love the North Dakota team this year. Western Michigan is still really good. Denver is an excellent team. But the rest of them, I love Arizona State, but they had a bit of a bad year. They did have a bad year. They won 10 games this year. That's unfortunate. But, yeah. But nobody can match up to the strength of Long Island University. I'm telling you right now. Also, I don't mean to be picking on Long Island University. They just always stick out in my head because they have the coolest color scheme. They're like light powder blue and yellow, and I think it's awesome. Okay.
Thinks it's awesome, but he thinks they suck.
They're the top they're the top of all the independent teams. So, yeah. Any thoughts on Brock Sauch? Watched him and his speed stood out. Yeah, that's my son actually, my child Brock, because we basically have the same name.
That's not your real last name.
No, it's not. I don't know. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen too much of him. I've seen him over the years. But I'll put him on the list and of guys to look at. I went through the watch list the other day of guys people have been asking me about. Yeah, he's an 06. That makes it a bit tricky. Like an 06 playing in the WHL on a team like Prince George and being barely over a point a game. Like, I know that's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater a little bit. I'll check him out, but I'm just saying like the oh right, his brother is Carter. That's why I recognize the name. Just not the most. His NHLE.
Oh,
wouldn't be
you
very good
recognize
at
his
him time.
brother, but not him, and he's apparently your son.
That's true.
Wow.
I don't even recognize my own younger son. The older son is my favorite, clearly. Boomer bust guys outside the top 10 for fantasy hockey purposes.
Okay.
Well,
Who's a top 6 forward, or they aren't?
Preston.
That's it.
I mean, if your league tracks like hits, maybe Mutrin, Casey Mutrin. But I feel like he'll play. I feel like he's a nice floor guy, but in terms of fantasy hockey upside, it could go any direction. You could draft Wiggo Sorensen with like your last pick in your fantasy draft, and everyone will go, "Who the hell is this guy? You must be watching that insane person, Doc Brown of Hockey Scouting on YouTube, like all the other neurodivergents." But he's a good player. But big swings, like maybe if Ryan Lynn is there, you could take a swing on him. He's not the most physical guy, but he could be. You want to find defensemen, I guess, who are going to be also on your power play, and so that also could factor in. Villeneuve, he's not very physical, but I could see him running a power play one day. But if you do track hits, like Verhoff, if he falls outside the top 10 for some reason, maybe Belchet's. I think there's good upside with him, but a lot of risk, I would argue. Oscar Hemming might be a nice pickup. There's going to be quite a few of them, I would say. Yeah, you mentioned outside the top 10. So something along those lines. Did you see Sportsnet's new NHL draft rankings? I did.
Are they terrible?
Well, I mean, to each their own.
Well, I always have to ask a sarcastic question. That's just who I am.
Of course. Let me see here. Let me see. If I lose AJ, I'll fix it. I believe you're still here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. No, I mean like in the stream.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm pulling out.
Hello.
Okay, you're coming.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on?
You're good. You're good. Cool. So yeah, I pulled up the list here. This is Jason Buchela's list. He's got Stenberg at 1, McKenna at 2, Reed at 3, and Verhoff at 4. Malhotra at 5 is pretty awesome. That's pretty wild. Ahead of Bjork. Carroll's Rudolph 7-8. I mean, whatever. That's just what's going to happen. Smits. Marcus Nordmark at 10 is crazy to me. I think that's a little nutty, but he scores points and can finish. Yeah, Lawrence, Belchet's. Dagenet at 13. I mean, if you want just guys that go out and compete, you could do a lot worse than a Maddox Dagenet. Adam Novotny at 14, Hemming 15, Lynn, Hurlbert, Klepov, I guess. I mean, Ruck at 19. I, again, wouldn't do it. Sherbakov at 21. I don't understand. I don't know what it is about him that is so attractive to people, but
everybody's got to have the one random Russian.
He's big. He's big. And he scored a hat trick at the junior level once, I think, this year. So there's that. I like Hawkinson and Piperinen more than him. They've played pro hockey and look a lot more comfortable there than he does. But yeah, Marcus Ruck at 24 behind guys like Cullen and Brett. Like, the thing about this list that I will say is that it feels almost like a completely personal attack that Bukala must be watching this show and finding ways to twist a knife in me as best as possible, because his honorable mentions were Xavier Villeneuve, Mathis Preston, Thomas Galvis, and Tommy Blale. I mean, Blale I've really come to like a lot more in the last month or so, the more I watch, but Galvis, Preston, and Villeneuve as your honorable mentions feels like you're purposefully targeting my soul, even though he probably has no idea.
You're hurting Will.
Yeah. And
I don't know that that's true.
Malte Gustafsson at 30 is also kind of wild, but yeah, I mean, that's just, again, he doesn't score points. I am very, very convinced that there is a lot of evidence that there's a lot of anchoring bias if you score a lot of points or if you don't score a lot of points, and it makes it really hard for people to go, like, it's very hard for people to put their hands on the table and go, I think this guy is better than his production indicates or worse than his production indicates. Personally, I just don't care. I just go right for how I think the player plays. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm only one guy. I'm just me. Logan Stewart thoughts. I love Logan Stewart. I think he's one of the more underrated guys on the NTDP. I mean, again, if he were, where's my hockey puck? Okay, this is a roll of electrical tape that I had from the show last week. I haven't put it away. Welcome to my world. But, you know, if he were this much taller, maybe 2 of these, I think people would care a lot more. But he's not, so he sucks. He's a center who is exactly the type of center that I would probably put a pick behind in the mid to late rounds. Very, very, very speedy, underratedly physical, attacks the middle of the ice really well. There's a lot of fundamentals there that are really strong, and I think that Stewart's a guy that he kind of reminds me a little bit of like Ole Josephson, a little bit like that type of a player, where he could go in the mid rounds and go to a team that values him for the speed and the intensity level and the physicality and the flashes of skill that are there, but you get him to be more of a two-way guy, and you kind of live with the size discrepancy. Because I like him a lot. I really like Logan Stewart, and that line itself has really been a treat for me all year. Stewart, Plant, and Mutrin, when they're together, is I would say a trio that I really, really like. Cold take, Tofu's easily worth a top 10 pick with hindsight. Ooh. Depends. I'd say it depends. It depends on how you're cooking your tofu. I like tofu. I don't eat it very often. But
I do not.
But you get a nice crispy piece of tofu and mix it in with the right foods, then absolutely, you it's a great food. But just tofu right out of the package, pass, hard pass.
I don't like it.
Yeah, no. How concerning
all
is
that vegan woke crap? No.
the DEI vegetable?
Yeah.
Boy.
It's fun saying woke, isn't it?
I mean, ironically, yes.
Yes.
Yes. How concerning is Jet Luchenko's lack of production in Brantford specifically as an OHL D+2? Well, they're playing him on the wing in the bottom 6, man. Like, I don't know. Again, I've seen Luchenko quite a bit this year. I'm not really worried. He got put on a team that has like a gajillion centers and a gajillion forwards who can play up the middle, and they're just going for the Memorial Cup. Like, if I wouldn't be concerned about his play, more so that like he's in a completely unfamiliar position relative to what he's used to, right? Like, you kind of have to go, okay, because with Guelph this year, he was extremely productive, right? Like he was, and he's also still only 19 years old, right? But yeah, like with Guelph this year, he was almost 2 points a game. He had 15 assists in 11 games. So it's like, again, it's the same thing as Tynan Lawrence. If you're going to watch him with Guelph and be like, I feel good about this player, I think there's something here that we can rely on, and he looks solid, and then he just gets moved to a different team, are you saying that the player completely forgot how to play hockey and all of a sudden, like,
yep, he sucks,
just like that, they're bad again? Like, I don't think that's true.
Has to be.
I think it's much more likely that Luchenko is just a guy who, even on the World Junior team, he was kind of buried in the lineup because there's a lot of guys who play like him. I still feel like, like the Flyers have tried him in the NHL twice in a row, 2 years in a row. And like, I don't think that happens in a vacuum for no reason. And obviously it's like, oh yeah, you just pick a guy and he plays in the league and therefore, therefore they're a good draft. But I like he's got more NHL games played than Tija Ginla, right? Like, I mean, obviously I'm being a bit facetious, but I look at that and I go, the Philadelphia Flyers could find any excuse not to give him a shot in the NHL. Clearly the Flyers see something in his game, and I don't think 20 games with the best team in the OHL as a third or fourth line winger when he's a natural center is going to be enough to get them to go, oh, maybe we screwed up. AHL next year for him, I would absolutely see as a certainty. If I were the Flyers, I would say that's the plan. Unless they have a job open for him in the middle of that lineup and he can play center there. I would want him taking the slow route to the NHL maybe a little bit here, but no, I'm not concerned about it at all. Again, like, lack of production to me is not a legitimate reason to be concerned about a player, right? If you can look at how that lack of production is being generated and go, here are the specific reasons with their game why I'm concerned, then so be it. But I also find that a lot of times with players, the concerns that people have have never just like randomly appeared. They just get exploited in different scenarios, right? So with Luchenko, there are things about his game that I think are a little bit limiting, but I still think he's a really good player. And on a team like Brantford, I think it's a little bit more complicated than he went to a new team, isn't scoring as much, and maybe he's broken now.
Went to a new team and he sucks now.
Pretty much.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I don't know. Yeah. Long-winded answer for does Jet Luchenko suck now?
Right. That's that's Monday night's episode.
Yep.
That's Monday. We'll do a detailed report over the weekend and we'll know on Monday. I saw someone have Samu Alalawri over Piperinen, and not knowing much about Alalawri, can you see it? I mean, if I stretch myself out a little bit, yeah, I could see it. I have them a tier apart, but I really like Alalawri. I've got him. Where is he here? He's in my second round, somewhere in here. Where the hell is he? I do have him on this list somewhere. Yeah, there he is in the second round. And I have Piperinen at the end of the first. I think Piperinen's game is a little bit more well-rounded and mature, so to speak. Alalawri is more, I'd say, a bit more offensive leaning. Like, he wants to push the game a little bit more than Piperinen. And Piperinen's not particularly good when he pushes the game a little bit. I think he needs to be more of that sit back and defend type. And Alalawri is a bit softer in that area. But Alalawri is a little more physically developed, I think. He's a guy who certainly can get on his horse and rush a puck really well, and I'm not sure Piperinen is that type of defenseman. So they're kind of different types of a similar brand of player. Like, if Samu Alalawri goes 30th overall to some team that wants some kind of NHL defenseman, I could very easily see that happening. And I could easily see, after a couple more games of seeing Alalawri, that he pushes up higher into my second round. A guy like Brek Liskey is really pushed up in my second round as well, and I feel like those two players are a little bit similar in a way. Maybe not one-to-one, but in terms of ceiling and floor and how they play and everything like that, I guess you could say that they're comparable. But yeah, I like Alalawri a lot. And he's just rock solid. Like, that's the big thing about his game that I've always really appreciated. And the same thing is true with Piperinen. I just think Piperinen is a little bit more mature in how he plays and sees the ice a little bit better and chips in defensively a little bit better. But could Alalawri catch up? Yeah, sure, I could see it. Why are you hating on Malhotra, Will? Yeah, because I'm personally,
because you suck and we don't like you.
Because I'm personally, yeah, ban him, ban this man.
Exactly.
Quiet, piggy.
That's awesome.
I'm hating because someone asked me to. Yeah, Florida.
Will doesn't like nepo babies.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Florida got Lawrence. Imagine Florida getting Lawrence at 8. I could see it very easily. Yeah, I mean, Troy Stetcher being a comparison, I think that's to Borghese. I mean, maybe there's something like that there. He's even smaller than Stetcher, though, so who knows? Scott Wheeler said he thought Blale would get picked 3rd or 4th round. It'd be higher than that, right? 2nd round, maybe. I mean, I've had people tell me he's a 1st rounder on some boards. So I wouldn't doubt him being a day 1 pick. And again, like, this is obviously possibly recency bias. And I know someone who I probably need to DM privately and maybe have a little bit of an apology to over my skepticism of Blale up to this point. I'm still pretty skeptical, but in terms of the way I see the draft and how I value players, Blale is, and especially after having seen a lot of Cole Hutson lately, Blale's a guy I probably should put a little more weight into because of how exciting he can be, and the like game-changing stuff he's capable of. It's just, is it going to work in the NHL? I don't know. But it would be really nice if it did. And I find that if you find a player who is like that, then they're worth ranking pretty high, because at some point in the draft, you just kind of go, I don't know. And you may as well go for the guy that's going to sell tickets and be exciting to watch and drive good results offensively, especially, and then not play it safe, especially because that's kind of how I approach the game. I still have my doubts, but if he's there in the 3rd or 4th round, I think you could do a lot worse than take a swing on a Tommy Blale. But I imagine he's a second round pick and probably pretty early on day 2. But who knows? Who knows? The draft is weird, man. Lane Hutson almost was a third round draft pick, so I don't know. What else are we doing? Oh, we got a super chat. Thank you very much. You think Reed or Verhoff is better defensively? I mean, I think they're both pretty comparable. I think Verhoff's defensive game is a little bit more mature and well-rounded in a sense of like he uses his range really well to like get into good position on retrievals and loose pucks, and I think I think Chase Reed is a better breakout generator and sort of a much better puck rusher than Verhoff is. But that's not defensive hockey, really. In terms of like physical play, you see a little bit more willingness and intent from Verhoff. Why don't we do this actually? Let's go to the data. Let's see what the data says. So with Chase Reed and Keaton Verhoff, you're looking at better defensive zone results from Reed, which I believe. But Verhoff also does have, Verhoff's more busy in the defensive zone than Reed is. Reed gets a lot less, defensive zone cycles being generated against him. But they're both pretty good defensive transition defenders. Verhoff is better by a pretty significant margin. Again, I for the 4th time in a row, I keep forgetting to change the conditional formatting on this metric, which is stopping defensive transitions. So 10% of the transitions coming Verhoff's way are done with control, which is very, very good. So he's causing turnovers or losses of possession 90% of the time. It's just a lot of them are from his range, from his skating ability and stick checking. Like he's not a very physical defenseman in transition, which personally I don't really care about that being a shortcoming. So yeah, a good guy. I think they're just, it's like who's a better defender is a bit of a loaded question because it's like, what do you mean by defending? But I think he's a pretty good example sorry, I'm droning on here. But Reed, I think, has more, he's more passive, I think, than Verhoff and can get beat in close quarters a little bit more with a little bit of speed. Whereas Verhoff is a little more tactical, a little more rangy, and works a little bit more in terms of just using his size and his feet to defend a little bit better than Reed. But there are things about Reed that also, like, they're very, very comparable, I think, when you take everything all together. But thank you for the donation. That's very nice of you. Check out the show Jury Duty. It's a riot. I shall. Why not? Jury Duty. I don't know what it is, but one thing I do think I need to get back into is Abbott Elementary. I haven't seen that show in multiple seasons, and I've been meaning to. And also now that the Dune 3 trailer is out, I gotta catch up on my Dune Prophecy HBOing. I gotta catch up on that too. If this was the Blues picks with their 3 first rounds, how would you grade it? Schmitz, Hermanson, Horenko? I would say that's a solid. I mean, it depends on who they're saying no to, but I would be very happy with that, I think. Schrenko, maybe I'd swap him out for someone else, but getting Schmitz and Hermanson in the first round at 5 and 20, yeah, I would be fine with that. I'd be very happy with that. That'd be great. The colors of Gophers versus Badgers are very different. You know what? That's strike 2. Quiet, piggy. I'm stealing that. That's so good. It's awful, but it's so good. It's so
awesome.
It's so bad,
funny.
but it's so not funny, but it is.
No, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny to use it ironically, but it is sad that it's a thing that, the president of the United States said to somebody in front of the world. That's pretty wild. But we're taking away its sting by using it ironically.
Yes.
Who's picking in the top 15 who you think could realistically see picking Bjork? Bjork. Winnipeg.
And then they'll never play him.
Maybe. Winnipeg, Nashville. I mean, Seattle. If he falls to Seattle, I don't know what we're doing here. Yeah. Maybe St. Louis. I mean, Boston. Boston with Viggo Bjork. That just, especially if it's with Toronto's pick, that would just be, I would just be just.
Can you quiet Piggy?
All right, I deserve that one. That's true. Yeah, I deserve that. Yeah. Thoughts on the OHL coaches poll? I know it's meaningless, but still, does it line up with your thoughts when you watch the OHL? I didn't know it came out. Thank you for the reminder. OHL coaches poll 2026. Let's take a look here.
It's gonna be the new meme of our community. Quiet Piggy.
Quiet Piggy. Okay.
It's gonna find a GIF of Miss Piggy with her mouth taped over.
Oh God. Okay. So let's see. Coaches thing here. Most improved player being Nick Whitehead is kind of nice. I've always liked Nick Whitehead, and I have liked him with Ottawa this year. I think he's been quite good. Harry Nancy, that makes me look smart, so I agree with it. I don't know who almost any of these players are, honestly. I know Adam Levac. He's the guy who got himself kicked out of the league for the year. Smartest player, I definitely could see Jake O'Brien winning that. I could also see why Owen Griffin is nominated there. I don't know so much about Sam O'Reilly, but I kind of see where they're coming from. Barabanov, I think, is a really good pick up there too. I think that's an interesting one to bring up. Hardest workers, yeah, definitely Baudouin, definitely Spellacy. I could see that. Zhilkin, I like that. Again, I like Zhilkin a lot. And that makes me look smart, so I agree with it. Amidovsky, yeah, sure. I could see that. And Zada, sure, I get that. Best playmaker, O'Brien, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Owen Griffin, yeah, I could see that as well. Barabanov, I mean, smarts and playmaking go well together. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Most dangerous in the goal area, Vanaker, that makes sense. Novotny, I agree as well. Klepov, I don't know about Klepov, but considering who else got votes, I feel like, yeah, you give it to Klepov. But yeah, I would say especially these three guys, Vanaker, Novotny, and Hemming in the East. I definitely could see that being a thing. For those who are scared about Jetluchenko, 28 votes for best skater in the Eastern Conference. That also checks out to me. Cam Warren as well. That also makes a lot of sense. He's going to be a fun one to watch next year. Eshkakagan, the Ottawa 67th defenseman. I don't know if I agree with that one, but he's also only 16. Like, two of these guys are 16 years old, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to watch Cam Warren, especially next year. And Spellacy, Breed, and he, no-brainers to me in the West. I would have absolutely no problem with that. Best shot, Aitchison, sure. Rubrek, I guess. Novotny for sure. Pridham, sure. Yeah. Greentree, sure. Reed, sure. I like that best shot and hardest shot are two different categories. That's very funny. And the top three guys
are.
The top three guys are exactly the same in the East. Hardest shot and best shot. In the West, they're different. Brady Martin, I don't know about Brady Martin, but maybe. Belchet's, I don't know about that one. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely would go with Aitchison, though, and Novotny, maybe. Rubrek, I guess. I don't know. Best stick handler? This one makes me look smart, so I agree with it. Kieran Walton. Yep, we get there. Caleb Malhotra, I could see that being a thing as well. Sure. Owen Griffin, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense as well. Humphreys, Zhilkin, and Mignosa, I don't know about those. Zhilkin I do really like. Maybe Zhilkin is a guy I'd put a vote on there. Again, I'm trying to remember who in the West should be there, and I don't know off the top of my head. But these three definitely in the East make a lot of sense. Best in face-offs, who cares? But Baudouin and O'Reilly, yeah, the big heavy guys who can get
Toronto Maple Leafs will have something to say about you not caring about face-offs.
That's true. Look at how good they are. Best body checker, Aitchison, Protz, Malik McGowan. Showed up Malik McGowan. I'd be giving him a phone call after this season is over because I think he is a really good pickup, and not just because he's one of the best body checkers according to coaches. I don't know if I fully believe that, but he is quite a good overage defenseman. I would give him a call. And then Martin, Spellacy, and a guy named Rowan Top, who I didn't see a ton of Guelph this year, but Martin and Spellacy make a lot of sense. Best shot blocker, who cares? Best defensive forward, yeah, again, O'Reilly, Baudouin. Yeah, those make sense. Penalty killer, Baudouin, Spellacy. Yeah, again, that makes sense. Danford, sure. Best offensive defenseman, Aitchison, Jiricek, Reed. Yeah, sure. Cameron Reed, both Reeds. Sure. Whatever you say, I guess, yeah. Best defensive defenseman, there you go. Toronto Maple Leafs legend Ben Danford wins that one. Parker Von Richter and Bronson
better
Wright,
be.
sure, I guess. Wyatt Kennedy, Chase Reed, I'm not sure about that, but whatever. I mean, he's in vogue. Best puck handling goaltender is hilarious. That one's awesome. And they have best shootout goaltender. Oh, Ryder Federer. We like Ryder Federer. He's good. I like him. Best shootout shooters, you got Banak, Klepov. Sure. I mean, by and large, I would largely agree. You know, I would. It's fair. Good. It's cool. Opinions on where the golden goal for Jack Hughes should be. Ooh, now this is an interesting one. So, I mean, if you're not aware, the Hockey Hall of Fame has Jack Hughes' overtime winning gold medal goal. And I might be missing part of the story, but Jack Hughes wants it back, and the Hockey Hall of Fame is not giving it to him. Now, I can understand. I mean, I get the feeling, and maybe I'm in the minority, but I get the feeling it shouldn't be up to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that should be Jack Hughes'
I think
property.
Jack Hughes has every right to say that was the biggest goal he's ever scored, and it should be up to him whether or not he wants to donate it to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Especially because, you know, he scored that goal against Canada, and the Hockey Hall of Fame is in Toronto. I think he has every right to go, I want that puck back. You know, it does. I mean, technically, it doesn't belong.
We're holding it hostage.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually. If maybe he should go back to the White House and ask them to take the tariffs off our country, and then we'll give it back. Maybe the Hockey Hall of Fame is just playing this a little bit in a bigger chess match than Jack Hughes throwing a fit. But that said, I think he deserves the right to. You know, it's his own. He scored the goal. It's his. You know, memorabilia. And I would probably want it too if I were him. I know. So I was reading too. People were like, "Well, Sidney Crosby donated not only the puck but his sticks and his gloves and they're from the Vancouver Olympics and they're in the Hockey Hall of Fame." And it's like, great.
Are we talking about Sidney Crosby?
Yeah,
no.
he's what a very nice
people?
Man, I guess. Right? What a great guy. You know, but
did he do that? But did he do that under the goodness of his heart, or was he told, "Oh, maybe. Sorry, Sid"?
Yeah, made to feel very guilty if he didn't. No. I mean, if you don't, like, I see it both ways, right? If you don't really care about that sentimental side of things and you'd rather have it on display because, like, what's it going to be in your closet? Like, fair enough. I get that. But I also understand.
If that happened to me, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I'd probably want the puck too. I would give you the stick I scored it with, right?
No, I wouldn't even do that. I'd be like, you can go do something that Will has told me not to say on stream anymore.
Right. Yeah. Well, yes. I would definitely. I would probably split the difference. Be like, I'll give you something, but I want that puck. You know.
No, I would tell them to go F themselves. It's like you're crazy. This is mine. Did you? I would say to them, did you score the goal? And then I would say, go yourself.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, but I think that puck should be wherever Jack Hughes wants it to be.
Exactly, it's his.
What makes you lower on Carroll's than most? I just think that he's a good physical defensive defenseman who plays a ridiculous amount of hockey, and by virtue of having a skilled team in front of him, scores a lot of points. I do not believe that his offense is repeatable. I do like his defensive game. He's gotten much more physical over the course of this year. I think that's a big reason he's worked his way into my first round. But I don't see him as all that much different in terms of actual results. Like guys like Piparinen and Hutson and who else? Gollier. All these guys I think are also comparable defensive defensemen, but they just do it the different way. I don't really like Carroll's defensive style really either. I think he's a good physical player and he times everything very well, but he's not very mobile. He's not, I don't think, very projectably skilled as a defenseman. He can panic under pressure. I saw him the other day on a retrieval take 0 strides into the corner, don't touch the puck, and stick his butt out, try to reverse hit someone, and then slapped the puck directly out in front of his own net, and Joshua Ravensbergen had to deflect it away from the slot. Like, it's like the type of defending that I can't stand, personally. I saw Sam Dickinson do that all the time. Just, the puck is in the corner, I have 20 feet of empty runway ahead of me, and nobody's behind me, so I'm going to slow down, let the guy behind me catch up, hit him, and then just slap the puck along the boards, and wherever it goes, it just goes. Right? Like, it's like, to me in the NHL, you're just asking for a disaster in your own end when you play like that. Whereas I look at the other defensive players in that range and I go, I see a little bit more maturity and a little bit more reliability in their game. I think with Carroll's, it doesn't really matter where I have him. He's going to go top 10. I wouldn't do it. And I've seen him more than enough. We watched him the other day. Might have been yesterday. And he was fine. You know, there was nothing inherently wrong with his game, but I just think he's a good CHL level defenseman who has good physical traits that should take him somewhere. I think people are looking at his points and going, this guy is the next Alex Pietrangelo, and I'm just not sure that's what he is. The physical game is good though with him. I think he's got a good sort of sense of how to time his hits and how to rub guys off of possessions and erase them from possession, and that's fine. But I think there's more to the game than that, and I think there's a lot of rougher spots to his game than people lead on. What are your thoughts on Cole Eiserman right now? Not a great either. BU really good shot. Is he Wahlstrom 2.0 or is he different? I think he's a little bit more projectable than Oliver Wahlstrom was, but he is a guy who's going to need to be put in a situation to produce and have guys around him who can get him the puck. I think you also have to really be careful with how he runs around the ice and can put himself at risk of taking penalties, put himself at risk of injuring other players. I think he's still kind of doing that, just running around with his chicken with his head cut off and, elbows kind of up in a way that you don't rally around. There's a bit of that to his game still, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But I still have a lot of hope that he'll find a way to be, I'm trying to think of a guy in the NHL. Like, is he an Alexander Holtz type guy? I think that's possible. But I don't think he's as questionable a shot selector as an Alexander Holtz. Alexander Holtz was. But we'll see. I have some high hopes for him. I think Patrick Waugh is a pretty good coach for a guy like Yzerman to be under. I'll be very curious to see how Yzerman looks in the NHL. I watched Hutson the other night, and if Yzerman is playing in the NHL at all this year, I don't think he is. Was he PTO'd or ATO'd and put in Bridgeport for the rest of the year? Anyway, I'll be very curious to see how that goes, because I think he's a guy where on his own, he's not gonna, he's not Ryan Leonard, right? Like Ryan Leonard last year, you just watched him for 30 seconds and you're like, this guy's gonna work his way into the NHL no matter what happens, even if he doesn't score a ton. Yzerman, it's either gonna work out fine, work out great, or just completely not work out at all. Like he'll be fine if you put him with the right mix of guys. He could play really high up the lineup. He could score on your power play, sure. But yeah, I find with BU, the problem with them a lot was they didn't really seem to have much structure to them. It was very sort of individualized, and breaking pucks out was really sloppy. And Yzerman, when he puts his head down, not literally, but when he just gets to work, can bring a lot to the game. He can be physical, he can finish, he can get up and down the ice pretty well. But in terms of super well-rounded package of talents that is going to make a huge difference right now, I'm not sure he's there today. But I do think I like him a bit more than Wahlstrom. Like, I remember I did a piece for McKean's Hockey a few years ago looking at Wahlstrom over the years, and watching him in the junior league, I was like, yeah, I could see why this guy is not working out, because he just kind of floated around and shot the puck from everywhere. and that to me is not repeatable. And Yzerman wasn't really like that as much. The only guy who's really bucked that trend in my experience has been Cutter Gauthier, which I did not expect. Who should Chicago draft at 3? For me, if it's not Stenberg or McKenna, I'm going Bjork. I mean, look, I think the Chicago Blackhawks have been looking for a high-end elite offensive center to play. Look, if it's me, Connor Bedard to me it would be most useful as a winger. And if you have a Viggo Bjork up the middle and an Anton Frondel on his wing, you may never lose a game. Like those guys all together would be quite something. I think Bjork is a great pickup for Chicago. Chicago does continuously seem to look for these well-rounded guys. In the last few years, they've been focused on size more. So I don't know if it's likely it'll be Bjork. I think if you're looking more at what an NHL team like that might actually do, maybe you see a guy like Chase Reed going there. Maybe Malhotra. I mean, he's got some size to him as well. And he would be fine, I guess, too. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But, yeah. I don't know. But for me, it would be Bjork. And yeah, just go from there. Am I going by Bill now? No. I mean, it's more of a colloquialism. I now that I have friends and family with kids and dogs and everything.
Oh, do I count? Is that what that means?
Well, I mean, like I dog sit for people, and there's like kids around now and all that stuff. Uncle Bill goes off the tongue way easier than Will. And as I approach my 40s, Jesus Christ, as I approach my 40s, Bill is starting to become more prevalent because that's what you call an old man named William. Or you just go by William, but only my mother calls me that.
Well, in my case, I have a grandfather who is named William, and I just call him Papa. So,
well, I don't want to do that. I'm not there yet. We're not Papa aged yet. Not quite.
So I always thought Grandpa was too long. So
too many syllables.
The little child. That's what the little child that was AJ decided to call him, and so that's what he goes by.
Well, there you go. Are you a Franklin the Turtle Nazer fan? Franklin the Turtle is a great nickname for Frank Nazer. I rate him above Moore long-term within Chicago's system. I could see why you would say that. I understand that totally. I personally, in my personal hockey system, I would value Moore a lot. But that's not to say I don't like Nazer. I mean, Nazer's a very, very well-rounded forward. He can play center if you need him to. He can play on the wing. Just a very good Swiss Army knife who can make a play. He can score. And he seems to have really developed his game and is able to do that in the NHL, which is great to watch. I enjoy Nazer because he's one of those guys where it's like if you really study the sport and really want to like see what a smart, good player all around looks like, he's a pretty good example of it. I still like Moore a little bit more for the type of team I would build, but Nazer is a perfectly acceptable answer as well to me. I think he's a very, very good player. Who rescues Zach Jones next year? Probably nobody. He's going to go to Switzerland like Eric Brandstrom, score a cajillion points, and everyone will go, hey, that guy actually wasn't that bad in the NHL, but I guess in Switzerland making $1 million Swiss francs a year tax-free may not be the worst when you instead were living in Rochester making $75,000 this year and having to pay taxes and pay for your house and pay for everything, whereas in Switzerland, you don't do any of that stuff and you just take home $1 million and call it a day. But no, I mean, I'd give Zach Jones a call. Hey man, let's give you a shot. What would a comp be for Bjork? I mean, I said he kind of rings me in a similar way as Celebrini did. I don't know if he has that. Like, I don't think anyone expected Celebrini. I mean, I was listening to I think it was Chris Johnston, and he was talking about how he was talking to some GMs at the Board of Governors meeting and how all of them were like, I don't think anybody expected Celebrini to be this good. Like,
nope.
He has become, and it's the same thing with Schaefer, but they've both taken enormous leaps in the last 12 to 24 months. And if that happens with Bjork, I don't think he's much further back just because of how he plays. Like the smarts with his game and the dual threat offense. He does not shy away from physical contact. He does not shy away from the tougher parts of the game at all. And he plays as a teammate. He plays with line mates and elevates them. And I think Celebrini does the same thing too. So, I mean, if I want to be more reasonable, you know, maybe a Nick Suzuki comes to mind type guy. And Suzuki took a little.
Suzuki's the greatest player ever.
Right, that's true. But he took some time to develop into what he is, and I could see Bjork maybe being one of those. But definitely a guy I'd put my money on and just keep playing and let him learn and grow. I've said this before, but I think most teams are too conservative about who can play center. I agree. If Aho somehow was out for the year, I'd argue the right move would be Jarvis at 1C. Fair enough. I would try it, you know. I agree. I think a lot of people, I mean, I think it depends also on how your system wants to use centers, because it is a very interesting position because there's a number of ways you could do it. I mean, I'll tell you what I believe. For if I was deploying a system on the ice for a center, I wouldn't think about a center as like anything along the boards. I would think that those would be my wingers. For me, the centers need to be your best skaters, the guys in the open ice, the guys who can support your defenseman in front of the net. If some defenseman's going into the corner, your center's got to be aware of the lanes coming out of that corner and in those lanes and blocking guys in front of the net and preventing scoring chances. But they also have to be ready to turn on a dime when the puck hits their stick and run a breakout themselves, carrying it, passing it, all that stuff. They need to be able to turn things around and get going and get moving and make a play quickly and get out of the zone. And in the offensive zone, you know, their job is, again, dominating sort of the middle of the ice, supporting your wingers if they're rotating down below the goal line with the puck on their stick, right? Follow up and support them along the boards or go to the net and look for a scoring chance or whatever. But also, again, be ready to turn on a dime and get back and help out your defenseman in the neutral zone and be a good forechecker as well. Like those things, and all of those things I think can be done no matter what size you are, I would say. It really just comes down to how you skate, which is why I love guys like Lambert or Berkeley Catton or Murat Huznadinov. Like, they're not the biggest guys in the world, but you watch them play the game up the middle of the ice when they have the most free open ice to play with, and they have the skill level where they don't even need the boards to sort of be a thing to work off of, right? Like, if you have the boards to support you, it's a little bit easier because you sort of have your lane, but in the up the middle of the ice, it's a lot more open ice. It's a lot more freedom, and that can be a blessing and a curse for a lot of players. And I think so I think for that point, I agree. For me, a center, like, and again, like if it comes down to faceoffs, because people think big means you win faceoffs, I would argue number one, if you think about the physical biomechanics of a faceoff, being smaller and lower to the ground lowers your center of gravity farther to the ice than a bigger player, so that gives you more leverage. But also, I've said this many times, but what happens exactly during a faceoff does not matter nearly as much as what happens 5 seconds in the 5 seconds following a faceoff, right? The structure of your team, win or lose, matters way more than if the guy wins or loses a faceoff, in my opinion. Right? You could win a face-off and turn the puck over in 2 seconds and have a 2-on-1 coming the other way if you don't know what you're doing. Or you could lose a face-off and have a scoring chance in 2 seconds if you have a good enough structure of how to track down the puck depending on where it goes. So for me, I look at centers very differently from NHL teams. I don't understand the size obsession, at least with defensemen and even wingers. I can kind of understand where they're coming from with that. But for me, centers up the middle, if anything, need to be your most skilled, most agile, most mobile players on the entire surface, on your entire team. And to me, if in my structure, anything else is putting you at a disadvantage, I would say. So Jarvis, sure, I could see it. Do you think you might have another Knies with Rubrek? If that's the case, then Rubrek is not trying this year, and he will start to try next year.
Or he is mono, and we cannot see
or
it.
That, right? Rubrek is also one of the oldest guys in the draft class this year, right? Like, you know, Rubrek...
I mean, Knies was too, to be fair, because he was playing in college,
Oh, he
right?
was. You're right. Yeah, you're right. He was. I forgot about that. But still. And I also, you know, look, I will never understand your obsession with trying to get me with a "Are you afraid of being wrong on this guy?" question.
Shut up, Peggy.
There's a lot of these types of this one guy on your list that you didn't have ranked that also everybody had ranked in the second or third round at best, pretty much. Are you worried that this other guy is exactly this case study? And look, when Rubrek throws a hit, then I'll see him more like a Matthew Nyes. When Ryan Rubrek moves with any level of speed or physical resilience on the puck, then I'll see a Rubrek there. But with Rubrek, I just see a guy who is low energy, low pace. He has some good skill. He pulls pucks around traffic pretty well. He's got a good shot, but I just don't. Again, it's like Rudolph. When I watch those players play hockey, I go, if I'm a teammate of this guy, he's very frustrating to watch. A very frustrating hockey player. And I don't ever feel that way about Matthew Nyes. And I remember when Matthew Nyes started to really hit his stride after he got drafted, I went back and looked at the video that I pulled of him of the games that I did see. And yeah, like the thing that really stuck out that I don't think I really took enough note of was his board play, his play under pressure, his physical strength on his feet. And I would say that for a guy the size of Ryan Rubrek, he may as well be 6 inches shorter. Like he may as well be, just because of there just isn't any of that. He's much more of an open ice sort of catch and release shooter who has a bit of skill, and I just don't see them as similar players whatsoever. If I'm wrong and Rubrek turns out to be Matthew Nyes all of a sudden, then right. lucky team picking him. Because I don't see that at all. I've said this before about Rubrek, but the Canes should likely view it as if he falls the same spot Ryabkin did. Sure, I guess. Yeah. But that's what Carolina does, right? They go, is there a 2% chance this guy is elite? Sure, right? They took Poirier, they took Ryabkin, they took Ekberg, whatever. Would I do that?
You know what they didn't take? The best 13-year-old hockey player in the world at one point. Yeah.
Look, I mean, maybe, sure. Could Rubrek play in the NHL? I mean, a coach could say yes and put him on a line with two guys who can really get up and down the ice and get him the puck and all that stuff. It could happen. Sure, it could happen. But it's, again, I have to think about it from my perspective. And I don't want to draft a guy where I go, well, I mean, if I just put him in the most advantageous position I can imagine for him, then maybe I would consider it. Like, I don't think that's a very good sell job. Like if I'm on the other end of that conversation, I don't think I'm super into that.
That's like Hogan kicking out right after every 3 count.
Yeah. Why does Gustav Carlson keep falling? Is it more like other players are passing him, or is this draft class becoming very close or deep? I think it's because I think I just had him too high. You've got to see more ability on the puck for him. Like, he is extremely off puck heavy, extremely energetic. I think that as a forechecking force that is down in the bottom end of your lineup, I could see that being a thing. But also, it's like, for him to play that type of job in the NHL, I think he could do it, but he's going to need to be apparent and very visible all of the time. And I'm just not seeing that. For me, I mean, he's in a tier that stretches from 21 into the second round. So it's not that I don't like him. It's just a matter of like fully buying into him developing his game. And I've also come to realize that guys who go and have trouble sort of settling the puck, settling the game down, taking a read of the ice and having some good awareness, that's a really, really tough player to project to the NHL. And I think Gustav Carlson's kind of like that. So if you see him as more
talking about Fabian Lysell, please.
Sure. But if we're talking about Gustav Carlson and
sorry. My dog's barking.
It's like if you have a Gustav Carlson on your fourth line in the NHL, I could see why, as more of like an Antoine Roussel type, where he's just a rambunctious piece of garbage on the ice, annoying, pesky, going to the net, wrestling in front of the net, and just being that sort of energy forechecking guy. Sure. And if you get that in the 7th round, which is possible with him this year, then good, great. There are many reasons why a Swedish Hockey League team played him for 31 games this season in a pro league like the SHL. You know,
Sorry, Will. My puppy got upset when you attacked Fabian Lascelles indirectly.
I didn't say his name at all. But yeah, I mean, I think also there are a lot of other players that are in that range that are extremely close. There's a lot of different variety of players that I think bring similar value. And having seen more of guys like Lin and Mutrin and even Belchets and Hemming and everything, like I just think there's a little bit more to chew on with them and less question marks in terms of like actually being a good transporter of the puck like Yustavar Karlsson kind of isn't. But God, I would not want many other guys in this draft. If hockey were a game played fully without the hockey puck, he would be a good pick. But unfortunately, it's a bit tricky. Okay. Speaking of lack of positive steps, what's up with Timur Mukanov? I don't know, man. I mean, I watched a bit of him with Nizhny Novgorod this year, and I just think he has regressed. Look, when this kind of thing happens, I go back and watch the video that I pulled of the players when they were draft eligible, and I go, what was I missing? What was I overvaluing? What was I undervaluing? What was I missing? And with Mukanov, I have no idea. I just think he is completely stagnated. I mean, playing 5 minutes a night in the KHL for years and years and years is not going to develop you at all. And, you know, he's just completely stagnated. He's a guy that I do still see good energy in his game. And if anything from that level, it's number one, you can't take the Russian lower levels too seriously. And two, like it can very easily be a bit of a trick when you see smaller players who can really move their feet. Like they might not actually be that quick and that high energy. Like that's a big thing that can catch you and trick you a little bit. You know, like a guy like Chase Reed, he takes 3 strides and he explodes up the ice through the neutral zone faster than almost anybody. And Timur Mukanov constantly needs to be in motion. And I think that it's kind of similar to Yustavar Karlsson a little bit. Now you see Yustavar Karlsson in the SHL, which you never did with Mukanov. So there's a luxury there, and you see how good Yustavar Karlsson is as a forechecker at that level, and how rambunctious he is, and how much he's getting in people's faces and mixing it up, and you just don't see that with Mukanov. He was more of a skill guy. But yeah, I just think that there just hasn't been literally any development in his game, no strength put on his frame, no nothing. And I just haven't seen it. I don't know. It's unfortunate because I really liked him, and I just don't think it's going to be there.
Wait, Timur Mukanov no longer good?
I don't think so.
Oh,
yeah, no, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. What are your thoughts on Lavor Gashelov? Now that I've said that, though, he's going to have a career year next year, and
I hope so.
Elite. What are your thoughts on Lavor Gashelov absolutely tearing up the MHL? Well, speaking of Russia being a little bit weird, I'm not a huge fan of Gashelov. I don't see it. He's very skilled, but I don't trust that higher levels of hockey will do him any favors. He's very Timu class, Yegor Shilov type player, where it's just there's not a lot of defending, not a lot of energy up the middle of the ice, very individualized skill. He's impressive with his hands, but he'll get drafted, but he's not going to be a target for me, I don't think. Hutson Malinowski thoughts? Have not seen him in forever. I honestly forgot he existed. That's a guy that is not a huge priority for me. But has he got points? Because if he does, then he's good. No, he has 11 goals and 4 assists this year.
So he sucks.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen a bit of Providence this year, and I do remember seeing his name fly by, but I've never really expected a super
more goal assists. He sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's if you score like Jonathan Chichu, you're bad. It's right. Simple as that.
If you use tofu in the way that us Japanese families do, it's S tier. Yeah, exactly, right? Like I would agree. I think the Japanese know how to do tofu. But
is this the same person who was trying to tell me about
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
White people ruined tofu, I think, because they've turned it into some sort of soul food or something, and I just don't see that. But the Japanese know how to handle something
soul
like
food
that.
Not white?
No,
Or am I
but I
crazy?
mean, like, it's like that, like, wellness, like the wellness culture food. It's like, it's good for your soul, It's like, oh, okay. Like,
Yeah,
calm
ruined
down.
pomegranates.
It's
Why don't
yeah,
you?
exactly, right? Like, it's like, oh my god, calm down. It's tofu, Leave it to the experts, right? Like, to me, the Japanese are kind of the experts on that type of thing. Um, Thoughts on Roman L'Italien? I haven't seen him in a long time. But it's a good reminder to do so. He actually shows up
That's a
pretty well.
sick name.
Well, that makes
Roman
sense.
the Italian.
Yeah. I mean, I,
Yes.
I haven't seen him in a while. I will check him out. It's been a very long time, actually, now that I think about it. Because the numbers on him look pretty good when you look under the hood. But I remember him just being a decent puck mover with a decent amount of energy in his game, like very Beckham Edwards type, Alessandro Diorio, like CHL dependable center up the middle of the ice type. That I just, again, like, is he an NHL player? I don't know what his job would be type guy, and I don't know, but I'll check him out. Ike Howard, bust or trust the process. Isaac Howard, oh my god, so many guys that I just forgot about because I'm so preoccupied elsewhere. I mean, he's only 21, right? To me, you can't really talk about a player as if they are a bust until you have to put them on waivers or something. Like, until you lose them for nothing, until you're at risk of losing them for nothing. Like, he's an AHL rookie and he's a point a game, so I don't think you can label him a bust right now, just because he's not playing on the Oilers. Matthew Savoy, everybody was talking about him like he was a bust, and I think he's really come a long way in his game over the course of this season. So you got to give him some time. Like, again, he's a rookie, right? Like, he just got there. So yeah, I would say you give him, like, it's you buy and you wait, right? And you got 2 more years with him until, well, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, you got 2 more years until he's a waiver eligible. Wait, no, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 more year until he's waiver eligible, and you'll see where he is next year. And another developmental year, and I would imagine there's got to be a job for him open on the Oilers at some point in the next 2 seasons that they'll give him. I mean, they gave him an extended run now, but I think an extended run now will be very different to an extended run when he's 22 turning 23 or 23 turning 24. Is there any NHLer in Brandon Buer? I don't really think so. Like, any NCAA free agents recently, like Sam Malinowski is one that's worked out, but most of them, by and large, the odds are stacked against them a bit. I watched some of Buer, and I don't know. I thought he was okay, but I wasn't really blown away there. Thoughts on Gavin Lesiak? Who's this? God, you people know players that, like, a Lethbridge Hurricanes guy. Okay. Oh, he's 6'4". Okay. He's 6'4" with 106 penalty minutes in 61 games. I think you can put 2 and 2 together on that one.
He's good.
I'll check him
That's
out.
what that means.
I'll check him out. I mean, with those kinds of numbers, he'll get drafted. He's ranked 177 in North America, so yeah, that's good enough for me. Is there a player that you think could fall into the second round where in your mind should be a first round pick, and what would the trait that be the cause? I mean, Mathis Preston, because he's got personality and doesn't score points this season, apparently. So there you go. Thoughts on Tino Kosila? Are you just Googling hockey players and just tossing them? Like, I don't know. The 119th ranked European skater who's half a point a game in the Finnish Junior League and born in Dubai. I don't know.
Awesome.
I don't have a clue who this guy is. He's on his 3rd team in 3 years. That's always a good sign. But
you have thoughts on this obscure player that will not get drafted, Will?
Maybe. I mean,
he happens to be me.
Players who play. Johnny Gaudreau was like 200th on Central Scouting when he was a draft eligible. So, anything is possible. Who knows? I mean, check him out. Isn't Crosby's 2010 gear in the Hockey Hall of Fame? Yes, we said that.
Yeah, and do we know if he actually, like, Crosby's the kind of guy to want his stuff maybe and not make a stink about it?
Yeah.
And if that's what you want, then congratulations, but you shouldn't want people to act differently than who they are just cause.
Yep. I understand Hughes wanting the puck back, but it wasn't his before or after the goal scored. It opens up a big issue where players will want to keep all their stuff and the Hockey Hall of Fame gets nothing. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. Because, like, and someone also mentioned, like, they can just make a mold of the puck. It's like, why can't the Hall of Fame do that? Right? Like, why? Like, why is it?
Why is Jack Hughes got to lose his, like, he earned, like,
Yeah,
this guy worked his whole life.
Yeah.
For this moment, and it's, oh no, sorry, it's going to Canada.
Yeah, he earned it, and like, why should the, like, if that's the case, I think it's a bigger issue that the Hockey Hall of Fame has precedence over the athletes on, no, we are keeping this, right? Like, I get the feeling, like, I just don't. I mean, I guess I see the argument either way, but I don't think that's particularly fair. Like, it shouldn't be up to an organization to be like, this thing that is the greatest achievement in your life, you don't get to keep it. Even if you want it, we're not giving it to you. And we're not obligated to give it to you, right? It's like, you're kind of being a dick about it. Like, you might not be wrong, but, like, man, that seems sketchy to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it should be up to the players. Like, I don't think, again, it's like the whole discussion about taxes, right? Yeah, the Hockey Hall of Fame could make a mold of the puck. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that, like, the bigger issue wouldn't be, like, it's like the taxes discussion. It's like, we should change the rules so that it's more favorable for guys to sign in places where you're taxed more, because it benefits teams where it's like low tax places, because you know, it's like, it's that very zero sum black and white analysis of something. It's like, I think it should be up to the players. You know, like, the Hockey Hall of Fame is not struggling for memorabilia, and yeah, like, they're welcome to make copies of things. And at the end of the day, like, it is very cool if a player, like, wants to donate something to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Like, again, if I'm Jack Hughes, I'll give you anything, but not the puck. Like, I could see why he's personally attached to the puck that went in the net that scored the golden goal for them. But
if I'm Jack Hughes, I ain't giving you anything.
Well, yeah, okay, great, but, like, that's your opinion, right? Like, it's
exactly.
up to you. It's up to you. You know. Like, for me, I'd be like, you want the stick? I'll give you the stick. I'll give you the gloves. I'll give you the helmet with the visor that saw the puck go in. I'll give you that. But the puck, I'm keeping it. I want it, right? Like, I don't think it opens up any kind of Pandora's box to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame and be like, you aren't obligated or forcing, you don't get to force players to not have memorabilia that means something to them. Like, you should, you know, that to me seems unfair. And if a player wants to keep that stuff, so be it. I think all the children that go to the Hockey Hall of Fame will be okay if they don't see the hockey puck that scored a golden goal, and instead they look at all of the other incredible stuff they have in that Hall of Fame.
Yep. Islington Sports Camp. Shout out my sports camp when I was a kid. I went there 15 times.
Yeah.
Not a joke.
Yeah.
That's how they make their money, off summer camps.
Yep.
Like mine.
Yep. McKenna and Bedard wouldn't that be fun to watch? You're right, it would be. McKenna with the Toronto media would indeed be probably well, it could either go awesome or, like, until Toronto goes on a 5-game losing streak and McKenna has 0 points. That's when Toronto would lose their mind. Jeff O'Neill would be on overdrive.
First overall pick in history.
Yeah, Jeff O'Neill would be on overdrive, and Brian Hayes would be yelling and screaming about how entitled he is and how much of a brat he is or something, and how Toronto,
like, we should have seen this coming.
Yeah. Or, like,
you know, all this hindsight bull crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, you saw what I sent you, right? That is a cup for Dubas inevitable on, like, a TSN thumbnail.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's
thanks,
rage
Toronto
bait.
media.
That's just rage bait for sure. They know what they're doing. Have you considered that Carson Carroll's like Brady Martin is a farmer? That's true. Care to reassess your ranking on him, Piggy? Oink oink. No.
They called you Piggy back. Good.
Yeah.
At least you're in you're in on the joke.
Look,
We
if you can drive a
appreciate it.
combine, you're a good hockey player. I think that's all we need to know is if you know your combine, you know hockey.
Yeah, like what's the difference between milking a cow and scoring a goal? I can't tell.
It's the same thing, right? The Hockey Hall of
Exactly.
Fame should just get a bucket of milk, maybe, and then from Jack Hughes's ranch that he's going to buy.
Why do you think the Leafs have the milk or had the milk endorsement?
It's
you
true.
know, it's the same thing.
That's how they're trying to build character. They're trying to reach out to farmers and be like, please make our team better. And
please, we need Brady Martins.
Yeah.
It's not going to fix it. Please don't actually do this.
Exactly. Linus Loop Trig thoughts. I mean, he came up in the chat yesterday in the Discord, and I have not seen like anything of him. I know he's Håkon Loobe's son, one of the greats of all time. Anyone who played in the NHL with a round Jofa helmet. Håkon Loobe is his uncle. Anyone who played in the NHL with a Jofa helmet, the round Jofa helmet, is a GOAT in my book, and he's one of them. Yager, Palfi, Håkon Loobe, those guys can hang. But no, I haven't seen much of Loobe Trig. What I have seen, he's got 10 points in 4 playoff games, so that explains that. But no.
So he's amazing.
Yeah. I'll check him out. I'll check him out because he has been on the list. He's slipped through the cracks. Central Scouting doesn't seem to think he's very good because he's unranked, but who knows? Also won't be at the under 18s, so that's unfortunate too.
Yeah, bloodlines don't count if it's your uncle.
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah. What happened to Michael Dalcol? That's a good question, because I remember a few years ago. This was not recent. I might be not remembering correctly, but I do remember going back and watching some of what was available online of him when he was with Oshawa and a little bit with Bridgeport. And the thing with him is that, like, I'm not sure. I don't know, because like the skill level was never really an issue. He was a good puck protector. I'd have to go look again because I don't know. It's an interesting question because he does seem to be the one guy where I'm like, I don't really understand what went wrong there. Yeah, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, I think. But it could be an interesting little thing to look into. Would you trade Matthew Nyes to Chicago for Oliver Moore, Ryan Green, Václav Nestrasil, and 2 first-round picks, Florida's and Edmonton's? Probably not. I don't know.
Like, I love Oliver Moore.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
Nestrasil's good. Oliver Green is good. I mean, yeah, like
maybe it's just hard for me to want to move away from like a really good young player who is a part of the solution.
Yeah, like he's exactly the type of player that you want on your team, and not that Moore isn't, but he has a lot more to prove than Nyes does. I don't think Green is a known thing at all. Like, I think you're basically trading a really good NHL winger for something that you're hoping meets and surpasses him in an aggregate. And I don't
think it's a horrible offer.
No, it's not a horrible offer. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's like,
I mean,
what do I value? It
like if those first round picks are good first round picks, then maybe, right? Like maybe I'll think about it because you could do a lot of damage.
Because it gave me pause, right? Like it's not a bad offer. It's like it's hard for me. It's an offer where I have to go and really think about it further. You know, it's like what are we trying to do here with the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Like that's basically an extremely expensive offer sheet if you think about it. Moore was a first round pick, Nestrasil's a first round pick, 2 more first round picks, and a guy who was a top 40 pick. And 2 of them are in the NHL, and a third likely will be there. Like, I would think about it. Like, that's a lot to give up for a power winger who is good. Like, he's a good player.
Very good.
A very good player. But I don't think Chicago would do that. Maybe. I don't know. I will say this. I would, if I was working as a general manager, I'd go to my pro scouts and I'd go watch 10 games of those 3 players and then watch 10 games of Matthew Nyes. And in 48 hours, we need to know whether or not this is something we look at. Because I don't know enough about all 3 guys all in aggregate together as they are now to know for sure. but I would at least it like The Big Short.
Think about it.
I'd go
yeah.
in The Big Short. I'd go. It's like Steve Carell in The Big Short. Let's find out. Let's look. Let's find out. We don't need to make a decision today, but let's find out, right? And then I would really make sure that I do a deep dive on that and see. But it's not I wouldn't go quiet piggy and close the phone. Close the phone. Hang up. That's the word I was trying to find. Bjork or Hagen's coming out. Who you liked more?
I'm not gonna. I can't keep myself composed after you say that.
What? Quiet piggy?
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's so
Please
funny.
Continue.
Oh, it's so
Please
funny.
Continue.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, we got some good questions before the end of the day here. We still have. Oh wait, no. Oh my god, it's almost 4:30. Holy smokes.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Bjork or Hagen's coming out. Who you liked more? I would say Bjork. But they're close. Is there any reason Malhotra is brought up so much in Canucks discussion other than his name? I don't see why he's typically ranked so much higher than Lawrence. Because he has points, and his last name.
He has points, and you're not smart.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
Rank.
Hate to break it. None of us are.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty straightforward. If you just think about most draft coverage being who scores a lot of points and who has a good storyline, that's a lot of what goes on. I think. I mean, it's not that he's a bad player, but people focus on certain players for specific reasons that are pretty easy to pick through, and ignore players for pretty easy reasons to pick through. Rank these chores: folding laundry, cleaning floors, mowing the lawn, shoveling the driveway, or cleaning the bathroom.
All the worst.
I will say number one in terms of being the easiest chore or best chore, I think, is folding laundry. I like folding laundry.
I do not.
I'd say number two.
I don't fold my laundry. I legit leave it in baskets because I can't be bothered.
Kids these days. I'd say cleaning the bathroom is at the bottom. Just because it's. I mean,
Gross.
I don't have big bathrooms. I've got two, and they're both pretty small, so it's not so bad. But cleaning the shower and getting the grime out of the shower is elbow grease, and I hate that. Shoveling the driveway
sucks.
Shoveling the driveway I don't mind, because the only way I shovel the driveway and I hate it is if I was lazy and didn't do it fast enough and the snow is settled and hardened on the ground and it's harder. If I get right on top of it and shovel the driveway immediately, I would probably slot it in number 2 behind folding laundry. And then I would say cleaning floors, because I kind of like mopping. I don't know why. Mowing the lawn would be number 4 and cleaning the bathroom 5. But definitely folding laundry number 1. I find it therapeutic. Crosby never donated and he didn't care. Exactly. If you don't care about it, then you don't care about it. Whatever. Do you think the Hawks pick Lawrence in the top 5 despite his low production at BU? No, I don't think anybody's drafting him top 5, as much as I think they probably should consider it. I don't think enough people are talking about Dylan Duke's AHL season. I mean, I'll take it. You can talk about Dylan Duke all you want.
We like Dylan Duke here.
We love Dylan Duke here. He's a good player. 32nd overall on my board that year.
And there it is.
Matthew Leahy, have you seen much of him this year? Did he even play a game? I thought he was benched most of the season. Pretty sure he barely
Mr.
played. Leahy. Mr. Leahy.
That's all. I think that's all anyone could think of.
He played 17. He played 17 games and was on the team down the stretch. So yeah, I don't know.
Was he amazing though? He must have been.
He had 5 points, and he's big though. He's 6'6" every time he steps on the ice. So go Leafs, go! Right.
Fair point.
I think the concern some fans have about Howard is that the Oilers' roster depth is nowhere near the Carolina situation with Nadeau. There's a lot of guys there. I'd argue Howard should leapfrog. I think that's true. But I also haven't seen him with Bakersfield at all. But I also Stan Bowman is at the helm of that team, and Oilers fans are also turning on Chris Knobloch real fast, it seems.
Why?
Our resident Oilers fan in the server is very upset at him. Well, because he has he's blending skill with players who aren't that good, and their depth is awful, and they're not giving depth jobs to skilled players. They're giving them to just guys. But I don't know. I mean, I think Howard, it's there's no reason to rush him to the NHL anyway. He's a rookie, right? Nadeau went to the AHL and nobody batted an eye, right? Like nobody cared. It was like that's a reasonable step for him to take as a rookie in pro hockey. You know, he touched the NHL just like Howard did, but I would argue Nadeau wasn't incredibly productive or incredibly successful there. He was fine, but yeah, like for a 21-year-old, like you gotta, I don't know. Again, it goes back to the whole thing of like, what is the point in being scared? Like, what is the point? What does it do for you? Because like, it's not like you lose him on waivers, and feeling like he's a bad player all of a sudden, or you've screwed up or something, only makes things worse. Like if you're Isaac Howard yourself, right? Like it's like you feel like you're under the gun when you're technically not, you know? Like there's no, it just doesn't help, right? Again, it goes back to the player development thing. If you want to talk about good player development, like good player development is being able to talk to a guy like Isaac Howard and be like, yes, we know you were very successful in college. We're going to keep you in the AHL. We want you to do this and this and this and this. And then blah, 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 blah. Because you don't want Isaac Howard playing fourth line for the Edmonton Oilers and his line mates are what? Like Trent Frederick and insert whoever? Like,
and we like Trent Frederick here. That's not slander on Trent Frederick.
In 2026 Trent Frederick, I don't know.
Okay.
Post-contract extension 2026 Trent Frederick, I'm not so sure. But
fair enough. But we did like him. He was one of our guys at one point.
Yeah, of course. I mean, for what he is, he's pretty good. But the Oilers are, I think, thinking he's a lot more than that. But anyway, the point is, I don't know. I with Howard, it's like, just take your time. It's not like he went to the AHL and is like, he isn't even scoring there either, and he can't keep a good job there in the top six. Like, clearly the Oilers are getting stuff out of him, and there's no reason to rush him straight to the NHL. And yeah, Nyes and Makar are rare cases of the NHL going straight to, or NCAA going straight to the NHL and looking really good right away. Exactly. Like, it's just rare. And it's really, really hard. It's really hard.
And it makes us look smart, so we agree with what you're saying.
That too. Yeah, we're coping. Do you think one team drafts both Ruck twins? I mean,
no,
sure, maybe, but probably I don't know.
Unless it happens like, you just happen to have back-to-back picks, and you go.
If it happens, it happens. If it happens, it happens. I wouldn't do it. You know, you're not drafting storylines. You're drafting hockey players. And is it possible? Sure. Would I do it? No. When a player has the size but doesn't seem to use it or engage physically, does that raise concerns about their compete level, or does it develop over time? I mean, it depends. Again, it comes down to your staff that are developing him. I don't think you can survive in the NHL long term if you don't compete, right? If you are not like, look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. Boy.
So we off?
No, we're back now. There. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. My OBS disconnected for some reason. But anyway, what were we talking about there?
We were talking about compete,
the Leafs.
And the Leafs folding like a lawn chair.
Yes. So let's go back to that. We'll start there. So yeah, on the question of competing and if you can learn it, the Leafs have gone into the playoffs time and time again with a very, very, very skilled and very, very talented team, and they fold like a cheap suit. They fold like a lawn chair. Why? I think it is extraordinarily important to look at why that's happening, and not just looking at it like, Marner is freaked out and can't whatever under pressure.
He's playing Age of Empires and he forgot the wall.
I don't think it's a pressure thing. I think it is a playoff hockey thing where if like it is a different story, and it's why I'm a little bit hesitant about McKenna, because the game doesn't come to you in the playoffs. The NHL level of hockey does not take prisoners in the playoffs. The best players in the world are playing for their lives, and they're playing for their livelihoods, and they want to rip your head off. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, they dilly-dally. The Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs are trying to be their skilled, tactical, precise, dilly-dallying team, get the puck to the front of the net, try to generate high expected goals percentage chances, and just score, and whatever. And of all of the players in Toronto who consistently shows up and generates offense in the playoffs, it's William Nylander. And why? Because Nylander is an underratedly highly competitive player. He is a player who off the puck will come after you. On the puck, he'll attack defensemen and try to get through them really hard. And a lot of Toronto Maple Leafs players over the years are not coded like that. And
he doesn't look like he's trying, says my uncle.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like other teams they'll look at a guy, again, I don't want to pick on him, but they'll look at a guy like Gavin McKenna and go, this is a player who, if we give him time and space, he will rip us to shreds. So we need to stick to him like honey on your countertop. This guy,
like flies on honey.
Yeah, like flies in honey. We need to make sure that that is what our guy's job is, and it will nullify him. And I think that that's a legitimate strategy. And it shuts down a team like Toronto. So for me, to answer your question, like, yeah, like size to me doesn't really matter. I look for guys where I go, I put this guy over the boards. Like, my philosophy is not that complicated. It's, I put this guy over the boards, and whether we have the puck, do not have the puck, are in our own zone, getting through the neutral zone, fighting the puck in the neutral zone, or in the offensive zone, I know that when I put them over the boards, the game is going to move in the right direction, right? Like, they're gonna, no matter what the situation, they're gonna be guys who can really move the play in the right direction in some way, right? Some way I can see constructing an NHL roster around them. And so I find that a lot of the times the guys that get undervalued in that system are smaller because they go, well, the NHL is full of big guys and whatever. But as we've seen here in Toronto, just because you're big doesn't mean that you're hard to get through or hard to beat. It doesn't make a difference really if you're just not very effective. So for me, Parekh, someone mentioned Parekh, right? Like a guy who is supremely talented. Obviously, you know, there's a very, very big difference between being talented and being a winner. Like those are two very different things. And a lot of it comes down to mindset and like competitiveness. So yeah, like to me, it's a very different thing. And I think you can tell in the draft class. And I think this goes back to like a rubric. I mean, again, it's like, I also just don't think, especially in the first round, I don't think it's a good sell. Like if I'm selling you on a player and I go, you just have to reprogram how he plays the game. You just have to reprogram how much he cares and how much he competes.
That's not what I want.
You lost me. Like why? Like think of the words that you're saying. Like I see it in reports that people are talking. It's like this guy is very inactive and he lets the game come to him and he's very passive, but that's what makes him good. And I go, no. What NHL coach thinks that? Like maybe they exist, but that's not repeatable. That's not a reliable strategy. That's not a reliable way to play because I can look at that and go, well, okay, I'll get guys who will chip and chase against this guy, put him on his back heel, put him, challenge him one-on-one, attack you, try to get the puck through him because I know that they're just going to back off, maybe try to take a more tactical approach to shutting me down defensively, and I can work around that. Like, I just don't think in my world of how I would build a team, I just think that, and again, I think it's perfectly, and maybe it's because watching the Leafs in the playoffs over the years, you see the trauma and why it happens, and you overcompensate, maybe. But I think that is they're
overcompensating in the wrong direction.
I think that's a huge reason a team like Toronto can struggle in the playoffs, right? Or even Carolina, right? Like maybe you could slice it a little bit differently, but the teams that go deep in the NHL playoffs in recent times, it's not because they're more physical or heavier than everyone else. Like Florida is an elite forechecking team. They are an elite forechecking team. And then when they turn the puck over, they have enough skill to make plays and put the puck in your net, bing, bang, boom. Like
and everybody covers for everybody as well. Like they're not afraid. They're not afraid to let a defenseman rush the puck. That's how they beat the Leafs.
Yeah.
Seth Jones went on a rush, man.
Exactly.
And that was it.
Yeah. Like they're not afraid of that. And
this player that, and at times I've been very critical of too, gets to do something cool with the puck for once. And wow, he's scored a goal and it's over. And it's like 4-0 or whatever it was. It felt like 4-0 because it always ends up being like 4. It's always like a massively, it's a stinky diaper. It's over.
Right. I think with, and someone mentions that the depth was also bad for the Leafs, but that's not the point.
That's not, but was it?
I argue that it kind of.
Last year, no.
I argue that it maybe kind of was, but that doesn't matter. To me, you don't pay guys $10 million plus a year to say, okay, when our season is on the line, it's okay if we're losing because the rest of the guys on the team also aren't pulling their weight. Like, I don't think that's an excuse. Like I think that when you watch the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs, they lose for very specific reasons. And and a lot of it comes down to how an opposing team pre-scouts guys like Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and Morgan Riley and all of those guys. Like you can look at them and go, you know, like, and I think a brief little weird symptom of that is also what happened with Matthews the other day. Like they are a team that very clearly doesn't really truly compete. They are not, their head is not in the game like other teams are. They just aren't. And so I would just say that, like, yeah, the depth wasn't awesome, but would you
defense,
like if the Colorado, like, you know, like look at Nathan McKinnon in the playoffs, right? Like you would never ever question Nathan McKinnon's effort or ability to produce in the playoffs. Cale McCarr's a skilled player, but you see him competing every single shift on the ice, right? Like very, very, very different. And I don't know. So I get the feeling that if you're drafting with guys and you're going, well, we can make this guy compete harder, it's like maybe that's true. But if we're talking he's the first guy off the board, I have heard so many people not give the same charity to other players, right? Oh, he's a personality problem. Oh, he doesn't compete hard enough, and oh, this and this and this, so we're not going to draft him at all.
Sucks.
Right? And so it's like, okay, why are you giving this guy the benefit of the doubt? Because he's 6'5" or whatever? Oh, fair enough, but I'll let you do that, right? I'll give you that leeway. Any funny comparisons you saw in the NHL draft over the course of your scouting years? I mean, they're all very funny.
Owen Power, Victor Hedman.
What was the one earlier this week? I can't remember. There was a really good one this week. I can't remember who it was, but there are just so many good ones. I love it. It's just so much fun. And I know I'm not perfect either, but it's really fun. Dal Cole, yeah, I'd say with Dal Cole, yeah, the skating and the, like, I thought the skill was really, really good, but yeah, the feet were questionable. I remember that. Is Florida's pick staying with Florida this year? Why wouldn't it? What is it? Protected 1 through 10? Ugh. Well, they're on the cusp. There's not much separating them, but we'll say, like, they're likely at worst gonna be 12, 10, 9, somewhere between 7 and 12. So I argue you're 50-50 on that. I don't know. And if they win the lottery, then yeah, it's staying with them. Somehow I missed Ryabkin went to the queue. He did. Yes, he's scoring a lot of points. All right, let's finish up here. Thoughts on Kvasnica having a good year in the WHL? He's going to the NCAA next year. He does everything right from what I've seen. I love Kvastica. Yeah, I like him. He's a really, really good player. I had him ranked last year. I was glad to see him get drafted. I think he'll be a really good college player. I think he'll be very good in college, and from there, who knows? Carolina doesn't struggle in the playoffs. From a Carolina fan, by the way, there's a team that goes deep that doesn't close the deal yet. The Leafs are in another tier of choke artists. I mean, yes, but that's not the point. The point, like, the point is, like, what shuts a team like that down? Like, what stops them? Why Carolina lost to Florida? Like, you have to explore when you lose, why you lose. And Toronto, it's very obvious, right? It's very, very obvious. In Carolina, the circumstances are obviously a little bit different. But like, I don't know, maybe Carolina's a bad example. And yes, I mean, you know that we're huge fans of that team and what they do. Like, there's no doubt that Carolina's in a very good position.
Animal, okay?
Like, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, right? But the point is that skill is great and you need it, and that's fine. But there is another dimension to it that other teams also can have, that at the end of the day, in the NHL playoffs, when the chips are on the table and everybody's trying to win and it's the best in the world doing it against the best in the world, you know, there's a level of competitiveness and effort that if you are, again, it's the gifted kid syndrome. If you are used to being a superstar everywhere you go, nobody questions you, nobody gives you tough love, you score and score and score and score and score and score, and then you go up against, you're lining up in a game and it's Tom Wilson on the other side of you. Like, a lot of times I find...
Wilson don't give a shit. He's gonna He's gonna bang you into the boards.
Maybe this is anecdotal, but like I find that in the playoffs, just by watching the games, the team that wants to win more generally wins more. Like, that's the thing that divides them, is the team that is more motivated to just win the game, baby. Do whatever it takes to win and drive the other team nuts. Those are the teams that do it. And not saying that there are teams that aren't trying to do that, but it's who wants it more and who's willing to line up against a Tom Wilson and go, no, I'm gonna try to break this guy if he as he's trying to break me, right? Like that's the type of player that I think is a benefit. And like some guys are just not used to that, and it's really hard to wake up and all of a sudden grow that like muscle. You know what I mean? It's really tricky. And yeah, Florida had Lundell and Marchand on the third line. Yeah, like they're a good team. Like nobody's disputing they're a good team, but that's kind of the like those guys are extraordinary competitors. And yeah, I mean, sure, I don't know. Like at the end of the day, it's a matter of like the original question was about guys who are big learning how to be more competitive if they can physically are developed, but if they're physically developed but can develop the competitiveness over time, maybe. But in the context of an NHL draft, like if you're talking draft pick, if you're going to give guys leeway on that, you got to give it to everybody then. Like you got to go, well, this guy's really talented, but boy, I wonder about how hard he competes. So we're going to teach him, because I feel like it's applied very, very, very selectively to a very select group of players. And I think that's very unfair if that's what's happening.
Have you met somebody who became competitive later in life than like that you knew from like when you were younger, who then developed a competitive spirit or like developed a work rate?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, like you're 17 years old, right? Like it's not like you're 40, right? It's not it's not that you can't grow up and mature.
It's just difficult. It's not an easy step like for somebody to make.
It's a steep curve from 17 to 23, which is basically your time frame as an NHL prospect with the team that drafts you. It's a steep curve if you're like, I need in the next 6 years to learn how, like, I need to learn how to compete, right? Like I need to pick up my pace and my energy and my physicality and everything, and then every year my level of like Rubrek, for example, is going to have one more year in junior hockey probably, or he goes to college next year. And maybe you leave him in college for a year or for a couple of years, and he grows and develops, and that muscle gets worked out. And maybe he does get there. But
it's not easy.
If that's the case, if that's what happens, then it's really, really hard to know who you actually want in a given NHL draft. Because it's like, well, you could then hand wave away a lot of things about a lot of players and just say, oh, well, he'll learn it. Which I think is what happens a lot of the time. But I don't really think about it that way. I look at a Teddy Stiga, for example, and I go, every time that guy steps over the boards, I know my team is in a better position to win a game. Like that guy is a monster. And I'd be terrified to play against him if I was an opposing team, right? Like, I don't know. It's even if he is only 5'10" or 5'11" or whatever it is, right? Like, I don't care. That guy can ball out. But anyway, it's late. Let's get out of here. Thanks for sticking around. This was always a lot of fun. We'll be back Monday night, 8 p.m.
You'll be back. I will not.
Yeah,
sadly.
AJ will be not here, so it's just me Monday night.
It could be. I'm going to be very tired because I have the weekend shift,
right?
The weekend overnight. So we'll see.
We'll see.
See how I'm feeling.
Well, first Scouching report is out now the first report is okay. Carolina fan, sir. Yes.
We love your team.
The injuries matter too. Okay, like yes, whatever helps you feel better. Whatever helps you sleep at night,
We love your team.
Yeah,
man.
like okay, man. Sorry we brought them up. Never mind.
Sorry, you brought them up.
Yeah, sorry I brought them up. They're incredible and never they could win.
They're gonna win every year now.
They should win the Stanley Cup every year, and if they don't, there's something going on. Anyway,
travesty.
Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll be back Monday night at 8 p.m. Scouching reports are starting to come out. They're accessible for subscribers. They'll be made public starting later next week, and we'll be around same time as usual. And thanks for watching. And
watch them all, please.
Exactly, watch them all. And thanks again, AJ, for coming on. And it was fun.
I like being here. I like disrupting your thought process.
Exactly.
It's nice.
It's a nice little catch me off guard, you know?
I basically get to live the dream. I get to say a lot of things. People listen to me. There's an audience.
Yep.
And I don't know. I get to be a lot more mean.
It's a fulfilling volunteer job. I'll fill out your volunteer hours sheet and
please.
Yeah.
You know, I already have I had 300 plus hours too, because I mentioned my camp. I liked my camp.
What a good person.
Yeah, totally had nothing to do with just enjoying it.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks. We'll see you Monday. We'll see if AJ's there, but if not, it'll just be me. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching, and have a good weekend, and be kind, and don't jaywalk. Definitely
love each other, and shut up, Piggy.
Let's go. Quiet, Piggy.